You guys still there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, howdy, loved ones. We are back on the air. This is part 2 of the Muse, the blessed Muse stream. So entertaining. We only got through about 31 minutes so far. So part 2, and of course, I am joined with my man Wes, the salty and dangerous Mr. Wes Moast,
Hello, everyone.
and we have our girl Tiffany Lockheart. What's going on, Miss Lockhart?
Hi.
Hi. So yeah,
Can I just say real quick before we start how
Sure.
disappointed I was that Tiffany managed to be gone for the one point that she was actually needed for when Muse asked,
I know.
when Muse asked Tiffany Lockhart, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
I wasn't able to answer.
Way to drop the ball like Tom Brady
Way
in
to
Super
drop-
Bowl 52.
You know what? This isn't one of your other videos where you can throw that clip in.
I believe they
That's not
lost
cool.
that Super Bowl too.
They may have.
I'm not a historian, but I think they lost Super Bowl 52.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
possible.
let me check. Oh yeah, they did.
They did. I bet that catch probably could have made a difference.
Is that,
but
is
anyway,
that the one when the Bears won? Okay.
Oh.
Anyway, they dropped the ball, you dropped the ball. So that was just kind of the
Right.
whole thing. I'm sorry,
I
Clobber.
see.
Go ahead and get back to what you were doing.
All right. So yeah, we have part 2 of the Muse stream, where when we last left our people, they were showing us the proof of the diagnosis, which was basically a calendar entry. Yeah, I'm ready for part 2. Ree is in the chat, and if you haven't seen Ree's video, Ree just did a video regarding some of the diagnoses. So yeah, check
Excellent.
out. Yeah, she
Excellent.
did a great job. So check out
Yeah.
Ree's video.
Yeah, I'm going to be using some of that in my upcoming video, which I could say I may have part 1 out next week. I'm not 100% sure on that, but maybe by the end of next week that'll come out, and I'm definitely going to use some of that because she shared a lot of insight on the problem list and diagnosis. Her and I had spoken about some of that on Twitter, but to hear it all spoken and with the passion she used to discuss it.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was really powerful. So
yeah, it was very.
And I always like seeing people create content, for the first time. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and it was great. It was really great. She just she did a great job with it.
Yeah.
And then tonight, all donations tonight are going to go to the Polaris Project, which is a charity that helps actual victims of
Human trafficking,
not pretend ones. So yeah, any donations tonight will go to the Polaris Project.
I donated to them, and they send a lot of emails to let you know what's going on, and because of the virus, because of all the protests and things, like trafficking levels have gone up, so they need help now more than ever. So I will match whatever is donated from tonight's stream.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Thank you, West.
Yeah.
So if you guys are ready, ready for more bullshit?
I'm ready.
How is everybody's bullshit meter?
Mine is off the charts.
Yeah,
Mine is too.
I actually just turned mine off because
it was like a one of those smoke detectors. The battery had gone bad and it just kept beeping.
Yeah. No, it was just I couldn't deal anymore. It was like almost about to catch fire. All right, so here we go. Actually, Wes, there was a question that a lot of people asked in the chat last time, and even in the comment room. Do you know what her chest tattoo says?
I don't remember. It's a quote from a song or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like, so I know people think it's some dirty thing or maybe some sort of code that needs to be deciphered that leads to a magical Cash App box. But
that's what I was hoping it was.
Yeah, no, that would actually be really interesting.
Shit.
If there was a decoder ring you can get, and then it would, it would just lead to a whole bunch of things. But no, I want to say it's a quote from a song that inspired her.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Part 2.
You feel better in terms of how you were feeling and how your
Right now, she's still addressing Ree. So,
husband was
All right,
feeling.
Ree.
yeah.
Please,
So
don't forget the Cash App.
Eurofishin donated $4. Thanks for helping get me over 250 subs on my YouTube channel, Clobber.
Of course, Euro, my man Euro. Thank my precious British Duke. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome, Euro.
Please,
Oh.
don't forget the Cash App.
TCAP Recipes donated $3. Got more content heading your way. Don't forget the Cash App.
And we never around here, TCAP Recipes. We never forget the Cash App. This stream is sponsored by Cash App.
I do genuinely feel bad about that. I feel bad that people were misled. I feel bad that we weren't able to speak up. I feel bad that our GoFundMe was basically
Bullshit.
Yeah.
it was basically us just trying to ask for help without really saying what was going on behind the scenes.
Are you noticing that this apology to Ree very quickly turned into how sorry she was for herself?
Yeah, it sure.
Yes.
It sure did. It turned there was a quick 180.
Could you actually pull it back a little bit where she first starts the apology? Because so just to recap, everyone, this is a recap.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
See, that's why you're the best in the business.
Thank you. Ree had befriended Muse. I believe it was either via Discord or Twitter. It's the same story a lot of people tell, where she starts liking your comments, and then you build a little relationship with her. So Ree's husband deals with some of the things that Muse was claiming to have.
Right.
And it sounds like Muse may have almost used her like research, like you were studying a role for a play. And so Ree was upset and hadn't heard from Muse, and there had been no communication between her. So she showed up in this stream, and she wanted answers. So, and that's it.
Okay. So
There you go. I hope that helps you feel better in terms of how you were feeling and how your husband was feeling. I do genuinely feel bad about that. I feel bad that people were misled. I feel bad that we weren't able to speak up. I feel bad that our GoFundMe was basically
A fraud, lie, a lie.
it was basically us
Bullshit.
just trying to ask for help without really saying what was going on.
And okay, so just for context, what she's saying is she just showed her the proof of her doctor's appointment, and now when she's saying, "There you go, Ree. I hope you feel a lot better about my lying. I have a doctor's appointment, so we're basically the same."
Well, yeah. Then she, I feel bad that she said that she was silenced, but no one silenced her but her. No one told Muse go away. No one said anything but stop lying. Tell the truth. And so when you delete your social media and you delete your YouTube channel, who is silencing you but yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, and Ree, if you want, Ree, I made you a mod, so if you want to put your, if you want to put a link to your channel or to that video in the chat, go right ahead.
Behind the scenes, I feel bad that I tried to quit something that I personally really loved, a job that I had had for 6 years. I feel bad that I've let people walk all over.
So the job that she really loved for 6 years, again, she had just turned 23, maybe 2 or 3 months before this. So she's saying that she was working in sex work since she was 16 or 17. Mm-hmm. That's great, but she's saying it's a job she really loved. But she quit this job so often. She quit when she was living at the farm before moving to Georgia. She quit while she was in Georgia. She quit while she was here, which was the reason I got scared, because that meant she would have no money, and then she would use it as an excuse not to leave. So I don't know how much does she actually love it, when, one, she wasn't very good at it because I've seen how much money she was making from it, and two, she was constantly crying about it and saying she couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like she loved it. She was, you're right. She was very quick to quit it.
The system. I feel bad that we've lost an incredible amount of friends from this experience. I feel bad that people feel like it's necessary to step on others while they're down. I feel bad.
Which is exactly what she's done to just about every single person she's been in contact with.
That I'm not the only person that this is happening to. I feel bad for even the people that are doing this, because obviously you're in a great amount of pain and you feel like you're in the right. So I feel bad for
this is me. This is me she's talking about,
Right.
and I'm in a great amount of pain. I mean, the only part that she had correct there is that I feel that I'm in the right, and that's because I am right.
Yeah.
There's no two ways to look about it. I am and was always right in this scenario.
Yeah, and
what should have been a simple luggage and medical supply drop off became all of this because of her. Her biggest mistake was making that 911 call.
yeah, and the judge actually agreed that you were right.
Well, and I just hope that she has nightmares about that call, because that's really was the straw that broke the camel's back for her, because that linked all these people together who have been wronged by her, people who are still coming out of the woodwork now, and I don't expect that to end at any time, because she's still meeting people every day.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that her grifting and her lying and manipulating stopped because she's not online. There are still people who are in danger every day as long as she's out there meeting and talking to people.
Yeah, no, she's doing it in real life. She's not doing it online yet.
And she very well could be, though. She creates different names all the time.
That's a good point.
She does infiltrate other communities. Like I had seen that she was trying to get in with the Wicca community as well.
Yeah.
As if she was, this, I forget what the name was, but it was supposed to be something like comforting.
Cottage Wiccan.
Cottage Wiccan, right.
That she changed the name of her Patreon to that at one point. And then she was Cottage Wiccan, and it was all Wiccan and comfort and, being harmonious with people.
Yes.
Yeah, so she can
a little
very
late for that,
well
dog.
have something out there.
But you know what? She can't do it and think. She'll always be looking over her shoulder. She'll always wonder when someone is going to point her out, and then that's it for her, and then she's running again. So the amount of timer on the fuse goes down every time, and now it's even quicker because it'll only take one person.
Absolutely. And I hope that it does.
Yeah.
I hope that she is looking over her shoulder online, and when she's trying to pull this bullshit, I hope she's not going to be smart enough, is what it comes down to, because you're only going to be able to fool people enough, and at some point your luck is going to run out.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan says she's back online with a new name. So
of course.
That's. I mean, I see. I know she was back on a stream recently as a moderator, kind of testing the waters. It's very similar to what you'll see with Vince. She easily could show up as a completely different name, and no one would be the wiser. But you want to test the waters and see, are people still upset with me, or have they moved on to something else? And that's what I don't think she understands. This isn't a drama thing. This is much more than that. Like, people realize you're a predator, and they don't want you around. This isn't just going to blow over. Like, someone said that she probably doesn't wear underwear to drop deuces on people's floor.
Yeah,
Bethany, and that may be. And if that was the case, that would blow over. If you're the girl who poops on floors, that blows over. Some people might even like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the predatorial stuff, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, not very many people like that.
No.
And the thing is, too, this, like you were saying, this isn't just a drama. You're dealing with real people's lives here, like yours, like Ree's life, and whomever else she is stealing from, whomever else's home she's infiltrating. She's a parasite. That's all she is.
She talks a lot about college, and that's what makes me worry, is how long until she blames someone for something they didn't do. And in a time where we want to believe victims, you want to listen to people, and someone's life, their future gets ruined because they were tired of dealing with Muse, which that everyone gets to that point.
Yeah.
They get tired of dealing with her, and then there's going to be a consequence, and there's going to be consequences and repercussions.
Yeah.
Yep.
You as well. I hope that you can find peace and that this stops, because this isn't the way to live. We shouldn't have to live in fear. We shouldn't have to live in fear of the items that didn't get returned to us.
Oh, please stop.
Yeah.
Please
Oh,
stop.
please elaborate on that, Wes.
This is like my favorite part of the stream, because at this point, I had not seen the order of protection that she had filed. So when she was talking about items at my house, I was upset because there was like nothing here. And then I got the order of protection, and the so-called items that she had left here were nude pictures, which I don't even know what she's talking about. A college T-shirt, which did not exist. She took all 6 items of clothing that she owns with her, and BDSM gear. This is written on the court paper. It's a leatherette, I don't know, a leather-like dog mask. Those are the essential items that she left at my house that she is supposedly living in fear over.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, I know I'd be lost without my my
Your
BDSM
leather
gear.
dog mask.
Yeah, and my rubber ball.
And the plug with the little tail on it. And,
Right,
I wasn't even gonna bring that up on this stream, but
Yeah, no. Again, subscribe to my OnlyFans for that.
Because they were pretty crucial items.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to live in fear of people doxing us and contacting us on every account
Which no one's
and
doing.
having every account possible leaked. I shouldn't feel bad.
Well, and you're getting all these accounts leaked because you're a predator and you're
Yeah.
going from community
people
to
are
community.
warning people.
Yeah.
And the doxing that she also included in my order of protection was by someone on Twitter that was the person who told her, I know your full name, but I'm not going to use it because I'm not a piece of trash like you.
Yeah.
And she used that to say, look, I'm terrified. This person knows my name.
Yeah.
But I don't know that person. That wasn't me. But yeah, please continue.
Reading this one.
There's the Stan Chan again. Stanley. Stanley just he can't.
Please don't forget the Cash App.
Jesse donated $10.
Oh, thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jesse. And don't forget the Cash App. Bless you, Jesse. Bless you. Thank you. And again, everything today is going to the Polaris Project, and Wes is...
and I'm gonna match. So keep it low.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. Like,
please don't anyone donate $1,000.
Donate, please.
No, we're kidding. There's Stanley Kendall again.
When did I lie to the police?
Several times.
Yeah, when the first time you called them.
Probably every time.
Yeah.
Every time you've ever talked to them.
Yeah.
When? Because I didn't even talk to the police in person.
Oh, so it's different because she talked to the police on the phone. And she did talk to the police in person when they were there, didn't she?
Of course she did.
Yeah.
She talked that the operator even told her not to talk to me until the police were there so they could talk to her in person, and they knew exactly what car she was in. They were parked about 10 spots away when I pulled into the parking lot. They were very close so that they could keep an eye on her. They talked to her to know what was going on, and that's why when I started talking to the officer, he was like, "Yeah, okay, well, this makes a lot of sense."
Don't forget the Cash App.
Matt donated $5.
Thank you, Matt.
Hey, Claudia. I had the COVID a few weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Your streams helped make quarantine so much better.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
Thank you for what you do, brother.
Oh, thank you, Matt. I'm glad. I hope you're feeling better, man. Yeah, that fucking quarantine, man. That ain't no or that COVID. That ain't no joke. She's lying right now. She did talk to the police.
Well, but with the multiple identity thing, I almost feel like she uses that so that she gets, because later she's like, well, I wasn't even there for that. Like, how?
That was Muse. That's right.
Muse is gone.
It's so convenient. I mean, I wish you can ask me, but I technically wasn't even there, officer.
It's a good way to get out of committing almost any crime.
Or jury duty.
Yeah. That's I might have to write that down.
Yeah, when they say you're on the jury, you could say which one of us.
Yeah, right, exactly.
One of us is 4 years old and she ain't ready for no jury duty.
Yeah, you don't want little Tay on the jury.
Never. They didn't talk to me. They were in their cars the entire time.
So they talked
until
to you.
they saw Wes get out. And then after that point, they got out, which is why I said that was racial profiling.
So,
You
So
called them there.
yeah,
They wouldn't have been there if you didn't call them and tell them that you were being trafficked, and here is the man who's doing it.
and told them it was an emergency too.
Right?
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's not like she called. So when I got the 911 call, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if maybe she said some things that made them believe she was being trafficked, or if she, she manipulated them into thinking that, or told them that once they got there. But she flat out says, "I'm escaping human trafficking." Yes, they got out of their cars. They were ready to arrest me. They thought I was a human trafficker. There were lots of police cars there.
yeah, yeah.
That wasn't racial profiling.
Well, and again,
Right.
listen to the 911 call on Joey's channel.
Exactly. I mean, I want to make it clear again. At no point did I feel treated poorly in Chehalis. I mean, these were all white dudes, country dudes, but they were super cool, and I mean, no issues at all. And I was out of there in a few minutes. So there was no racial profiling. The only bullshit there was Muse.
Right, right.
Because they didn't even give me the fucking time of day. They said, "Oh, tiny, pretty, frail girl whining," just like you guys do on the internet.
Oh,
So is she saying the police didn't give her the time of day?
Yeah, the police didn't give her the time of day because
I wonder why.
She's just a tiny, frail, pretty. And
Yes.
did she call herself white?
I think she did.
Can
I
you
think
go
she
back
did.
to?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to, because that little thing that says
They got
10
out,
bucks too,
which is
right?
why I said that was racial profiling. Because they didn't even give me the fucking time of day. They said, "Oh, tiny, pretty, frail girl whining,"
Oh, girl.
just
Okay.
like you guys do on the internet.
Oh.
But what happened is you guys vilified the wrong person, and now you're gonna feel really fucking dumb.
Who were we supposed to be vilifying?
Me, clearly. I
Oh,
hope you guys
right,
all
right.
feel dumb.
Yeah.
I hope you guys all feel dumb.
I'm ready to feel dumb.
Yeah.
But she didn't make me feel dumb through this entire thing.
Well, what she expected was the restraining order would make people feel dumb because even as she says later, "I don't need receipts. I have a restraining order," as if that somehow legitimized anything that she had said.
That's right. That's when she was straightening out Tiffany Lockhart.
Yeah,
That's right.
She's gonna let her know.
Yeah, she doesn't need receipts, hon.
Yeah.
Because you have taken down our entire livelihood, pretty much. So
So
No.
there goes $400 a year.
Yeah, $400 a year in grifting and lying. I mean, that's not really a livelihood or anything to be proud of.
No.
Just get a job.
I'm sure she could show up on like some, chatterbait website.
The problem with those is, honestly, as someone who's been in this industry, is that there's a lot of people, because it is worldwide, right? It's not like it's a local strip club. Because it's worldwide, you're competing with women from other countries, men and women from other countries. Like, say you're in Prague, $5 a day US is a whole lot more than $5 a day in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who are willing to do things for a whole lot less than you are because they can live off of that. So you're competing. It's too competitive. So
that's
she
why I
can't
got out of
really. So you have to have. That's why OnlyFans does so well, because you have to have like your own community of people who, when you go online, like if you go on Chatterbait or you go on My Free Cams, they're going to show up because you're on. But you can't just expect like randos are going to pop into your stream and, be willing to whip out the credits.
But she has her own community, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. It's all 9 people in her head.
Yeah.
But none of them have any money either.
None of them have the Cash App.
we haven't gotten a new camera.
David O'Hara, can someone tell me where to view his side of the story some of you are mentioning? That's all. I don't think that she's going to plug your channel here, Wes.
I don't think she will.
So I will. It's Wes Moast. There'll be a link in the description so you can hear Wes's side of the story.
It's literally his name. It has 12,000 views. So
not
it's really
anymore. Not anymore.
not that hard to find.
Or you can go on to Chris Hansen's channel. It's on there
That is
too.
that was kind of like a plug, right?
Yeah, no, she's kind of giving you
That
giving
was
you
kind of like
props.
a plug, like a reverse plug, kind of like backwards extortion.
Well, and I don't think you had been on Chris Hansen's channel at this
I
point.
had not. No, this was like a month before that.
So yeah, you can go to Chris Hansen's channel or Brittany Simon's channel.
Yeah, there are several.
Yeah.
And check out Ree's channel too, because she has a video too. There's lots of stories.
Yeah, RSN, Deity,
Yeah.
Hillbilly Hellride. There's a few channels out there. Joey TCAP, the Seth approved Joey's TCAP channel.
She did like Joe. I can't remember. I don't remember a lot from the first stream, but I think she was telling everyone to check out Joey TCAP.
Yeah, no, that's the only channel she was plugging during this was Joey's TCAP channel. She's plugging that and chicken fries.
Yeah. Well, you got to have the chicken fries.
Those are both Seth approved.
I'm a published model.
Oh.
You're fucking dumb.
Okay, so I love this because someone in the chat
Fucking Wins Decotra.
Wins Decotra just quotes pretty because she called herself pretty.
Yeah.
A few minutes before, and that's a weird way to describe yourself, in my opinion. Whether you believe you're pretty or not, like, most people aren't going to just come out and say that, especially in this position that she was in. So I love this reaction.
Yeah. Well, that's how Tiffany describes herself.
That's exactly how.
I'm surprised.
Yes.
I'm surprised her channel isn't, the pretty Tiffany Lockhart.
Well, you'll notice Muse isn't wearing a tiara or a sash.
No, not like
Tiffany
does.
insists on wearing. And she didn't win those at that county fair.
Yeah.
She bought those.
I did.
She bought those on
Well,
eBay.
You still got them, and that
She does have them.
doesn't really
Technically,
matter.
She does have, and she did win them because she won the auction on eBay. But it's a twist on words.
Well, yeah, it's a win. It still counts as a win.
It is a win. It is a win.
Yeah.
Your back ass insults really don't work because I have overcame, which by the way, we'll get into that as well. I've overcame an eating disorder. I have overcame this childhood sexual assault. Like, you telling me that you think that I am unattractive, I am so glad that you find me to not be pretty. Because if I had to have people around you in my vicinity, I'm glad that I'm repulsive.
Oh, wins.
Fuck, the energy that you're radiating.
Yeah. I don't think she's bothered by that at all, though. She shook it off.
She did.
She is
She
not.
shook
It
it
took
right
her
off.
about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Well, that's
Don't forget the Cash App.
The mark of
Patsy
showing that you're not
donated
bothered is
$20.
to act
Oh,
extremely
So
one
good
second.
to be back. I miss you guys.
Oh, Kat, my precious little feline princess. Yeah. We
that
missed you too. Kat says, so good to be back. I missed you guys.
Oh, hey,
Kat?
Cat G, it's so nice to hear see you back too. Sorry, I talked over your message.
Cat G
Send
Studios.
another one, and I'll be quiet.
Yeah, Cat G Studios.
No, thank you.
So Wince just got shot down. So if Wince was looking for a match, I'm afraid Wince
And I think Wynn shot his shot, and it was an air ball.
he gave it a try at least.
He did give it a try. You're gonna miss every shot that you don't take, though.
That's
so
right.
Good try, Wentz. Maybe Wentz meant pretty exclamation point, but accidentally hit the quotes.
Yeah. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky / Michael Scott.
And also congratulations to Wentz, because that was probably my favorite reaction of the video so far until my boy gets in there later and starts up with the Jim Can't Swim level interrogation.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God.
it's hilarious.
Mug nuts. Oh, what's up? Deity's here. Well, another guy that Muse called the police on every time he opened his mouth.
To be fair, Dee Dee sexually harassed her.
Clearly.
If there's one thing you can watch Dee Dee's channel and tell that guy loves him some women, and he's gonna stop at nothing to get them.
Yeah, he's a poon slayer.
Yeah, that was his nickname.
Yeah, that was his first channel, I think.
It was his first channel. It was all just tips on picking up women.
Yeah.
And then he slowly evolved and changed. But that was one of my favorite accusations.
Yeah.
By Muse that was not centered at me was that Dee Dee somehow sexually harassed her.
Well,
It's
she
just
also
horrible.
said the same thing about our friend Vincent.
Well, she did, and that was a lie. And that's when you pile on someone because there's already so much dirt on them that you figure no one will see your extra little dust.
Yeah.
But that was proven to be false very quickly.
Finally, Vince did some. Vince is actually innocent in something for the first time. Vince didn't do something fucked up.
She actually vindicated Vince. And how do you do that?
Yeah, that's really hard to do.
That is hard to do. She out-Vinced Vince, and that is something.
Congratulations.
I think if anyone needs a tiara and a sash, it's her.
Yeah. There's Stan again.
Yeah. That's not a lie, my dude. That is not a fucking lie.
Well, what she doesn't seem to understand is she just said a minute ago that she doesn't know why the police got out of the car.
Literally, like 1 minute ago.
Because there was racial profiling. She doesn't know why they got out of the car. And then Stan Chan says, but you said Wes trafficked you when you called 911. And she's about to go, duh, yeah, because I was trafficked.
Yeah.
She didn't seem to understand the contradiction she was laying down here.
Literally 1 minute ago, she said she never called the police. And now she's making the universal symbol for calling the police.
That's a great freeze. She looks like she's in Hawaii. And she's like, hey, hang loose, bro. Hang loose.
When you call a hotline and they say, yes, that's trafficking, and they're literally the ones that get to decide if that's trafficking or not, that's beyond me. And let's go into the fact that he recorded a confidential line. Why do you think he had to remove the name of what he called?
Wes.
So let's talk about that. Muse reported my call on my channel where I call the National Trafficking Hotline. She reported it because she wanted it taken down because it's very embarrassing to her to be caught in her lies and bullshit. So they contacted me, and I was contacted by YouTube and was told to remove the part in the beginning where it said the National Trafficking Hotline. So I did. But that doesn't change the fact that I called the National Trafficking Hotline. And in confidential or not, if you're making the call in Oregon, only one party needs to consent to that recording. And I guarantee you they were recording me as well.
Yeah.
But, so she starts this with I called this hotline who decides if it's trafficking or not, which isn't true. If it would have been trafficking, they would have called 911 for you. Normally, people who are trafficked don't have the luxury of making multiple calls on multiple days to multiple people. Yeah. You call them, it could be very quick. You let them know what's going on, and they get law enforcement on it themselves. They report it to law enforcement takes it from there. But then she turns it into, well, let's look at his morals. He recorded a confidential line.
Yeah, and I'm sure if all this stuff worked out in her favor, she would be playing the 911 calls and all that stuff.
Of course. Yeah, it would be a constant thing. She'd make a theme song out of it if she could.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you were asking for information of how it worked.
Yes.
What's confidential about that?
Exactly, because I didn't ask. They couldn't give me any information on anything anyway.
Right.
I was asking for how it worked because I was being told there was an open investigation on me. That's not just being nosy. That's calling because I'm asking, do I need to have a lawyer contact someone? Do I need to contact some law enforcement agency? She kept saying there's an open case and that all of her stuff was going, what was it?
To the literal DA.
To the literal DA.
Yeah.
And maybe it was the illiterate DA. And it's her friend Dan Adams. But again, wordplay.
Might have been Franny.
It might have been Franny.
Yeah. So confidential lines will not give the information to the perpetrator. Yeah. I could call them up right now, which I'm not going to because I would have to give my name.
What's up?
I wish she would have done that.
That would have been great.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
And everything. I could call them up and they will say that the case does exist. Am I having fun? Yes, I am. I'm having fun being able to finally speak about this.
It doesn't seem like she's having fun.
Because this is This has been too long. This has been too long.
She's already blocked like 3 people.
Yeah.
It's
There's
been too
still an
long of
hour
letting
left.
you.
There's up?
There's still an hour left.
Yeah,
and
I
she's already lost control. She should have ended this about 10 minutes after it started.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, she
Don't
kept
forget the
going
Cash
almost
App.
One
like,
sec.
Red Seedale donated $10. Sorry of topic, but need to know if I am crazy. Close your eyes and listen to the Joe Biden YouTube ad and tell me who you hear.
Is it? Will I hear Muse? Is that who you're referring to, Red? I'm not sure, but thank you, Red. God bless you. I'm sorry, go ahead, Wes. I didn't mean. I hope you didn't lose your train of thought there.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
Okay. Well, you were saying that she goes on for another 2 hours and.
No, there's another hour of this.
Or another hour, yeah.
It's almost like she was thinking she was kind of just going uphill, and at any minute she was going to get to the top of the hill, and then it would just be smooth sailing. Like, everyone would go like, oh, okay, I get it. You were trafficked.
Right.
Holy shit, were we wrong?
The truth will come
And then
out.
she would be vindicated during this stream, and then the tide would turn against me. But it wasn't happening.
No.
It just was not happening.
No. We don't mean to spoil. We should have put a spoiler alert, but I think pretty much everybody can assume that the tide did not turn in this. In fact, it gets much worse.
You guys think the absolute worst of us. It's been too long of people that we used to talk to and be friends with saying that they think that we're the absolute worst. And once again, I go back to the comment of it really says a lot more about you guys than it does about us.
Yeah, I tell you guys are the ones who are pieces of shit.
I love the finger wagging,
Yeah.
condescending way that she sounds during this entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're all a bunch of fucking idiots, and you're about to figure it out because there's about to be some bombshell evidence that she's gonna bring up. Maybe hidden tape of me shoving her into a crate to traffic her. And you're just expecting something like that because you guys should all be ashamed of yourself. Isn't this exactly how she thrived on YouTube? That the only reason anyone even knew who she was because of her doing dragging Brittany Simon and then accusing everyone of everything.
Yeah.
So but then this really says a whole lot more about you guys than it does about, and now it's me. Wouldn't it be about us?
Right. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Of course.
Her system.
And I guess all these people look stupid for asking her like they're
Questions.
Like the questions range. There was trolls, but there were people. I mean, like the stuff like Ree was saying, and the stuff even stupid Tiffany Lockheart was saying. Like
Exactly.
Tiffany wasn't even trolling; she was asking questions. So
Yeah.
do you were there, Tiffany? Do you feel ashamed of yourself?
No,
Oh, okay.
not at all.
Not for
And
that.
I also didn't get any answers.
No.
Remember at the beginning,
That's
it
'cause
said,
who are
we're
you?
building. You see, we're building.
Well, but
never
Yeah.
happened.
who are you, hon?
Never happened. That's right. Who am I?
Who are you to get answers to questions, hon?
Right.
On a live stream, a Q&A live stream. How dare
Right, saying
how dare
we're gonna
people
get
ask
answers,
questions on a
and it
Q&A
never-
live stream?
Right. It never happened.
Because while
That's not what this was about. This wasn't about you people asking questions. This is a Q&A, for God's sakes.
Right.
all this was going on, the content that we made wasn't about this. We never wanted to address this.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to address it either if I was her.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Of course, it failed,
I sure
right?
as hell
Like it's
would
like
be.
that Super Bowl 52 that Patriots fans don't talk about because they
Right.
failed.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady, if you remember, Tom Brady dropped that ball.
He did. He dropped the
And
ball.
that was part of the failure. So they don't talk about that. It's not the Civil War where you lost and then you continue to support a flag in a losing cause. Like you try to put someone in jail for trafficking and were caught, and then it opened up a whole lot of stuff. So no, you wouldn't want to discuss it. You would want to brush it aside, change your name, and come back with some new bullshit content.
That's what I would do. That's what I've done. Every time I come back with bullshit content, it's always under a new name.
Please don't forget the Cash App.
Johnny Utah donated $5.
Thank you, Johnny.
I hope Muse gets stabbed in the neck by a swordfish.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh,
Only one person in human history has survived that injury.
That's true.
Legend has it she used her leg warmers as a tourniquet to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, we might need to send Muse some leg warmers.
all of that was true.
Yeah, that's right.
All of it. Yeah. Well, somebody believed it.
one guy did.
Yeah.
2017, California.
I'm not gonna prove that. I'm just gonna say numbers and states. So
I mean, then that date changes all the time. So that's interesting. So that's good. I didn't know that was at that point.
yeah.
But yeah, that will change. Depending on the day. There were videos before where she said it was at a much younger age, and then she says that it was taken off her chart at one point because the doctor said you don't have DID, and then she was able to talk another doctor into adding it back onto her chart later. So people doctor shop. You hear that about people who with Munchausen by proxy when they're taking their kids to several doctors to find the one doctor who's going to believe you over their own medical experience, over testing of their own, overseeing actual documentation. If you say, well, she can't walk because of blank, so she's in this wheelchair, there will be a doctor who eventually will say, okay, and write down whatever. So her being able to go to a doctor, which the one thing I have been confirmed with everyone I've talked to is she sees a ton of therapists, and she's always going to the doctors to get referrals on things, but never follows through after that.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a referral that says you have EDS, and that's just as good as you having EDS. So no need to proceed. Just go ahead and add it to your merit badges.
All paid for by the state.
And then the state gives her money, which then goes to Burger King for those delicious Burger King fries. And just a reminder, this stream is sponsored by both Cash App and Burger King, who remind you, chicken fries.
and Joey's TCAP channel, of course.
Of course.
So, Violet Vixen, I hope you were satisfied with that answer. She's not going to give you any proof, but she's just going to give you numbers. So,
Violet should stop
good?
asking for things that she knows she's not going to get.
Yeah.
And also 2019, I think that was around March. We had to get re-diagnosed at one point because there was a doctor who didn't believe in the condition. So he took it off.
Maybe he didn't believe you. Maybe it wasn't that he didn't believe in the condition.
The doctor said you're full of shit.
Yeah. She's going to find a doctor who believes her. Good luck with that, Corey.
You could find a doctor that you could sell alien abduction insurance to if you looked hard enough.
Sure.
That doesn't mean anything. So you had a doctor who's like, nah, I'm erasing this, and then she found one who's like, oh yeah, I'll write that down in ballpoint pen just for you.
And then
allegedly, because I believe if she had an actual diagnosis for it somewhere, that would be shown everywhere.
We definitely would have seen it at some point.
Go get re-diagnosed, and basically they were just like, "Oh, it was on your file. We'll put it back on the file."
That's a great doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, it was on your file before you're telling me that it was? Okay, great. We're just gonna.
Yeah, I don't believe this doctor exists. I think it was the DA friend Dan Allen again.
Yeah.
Are the hotlines able to make arrests, or are the police? The police said it wasn't trafficking. That's because the police didn't hear the whole story. The police didn't talk to me, Banana Bread.
I doubt that's
not true.
So
that's not true.
The police were there, like, how long before you got there?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they were there like 20 minutes. They were pretty upset at the wait because I was late as per usual.
Yeah, I was a little upset at the wait today. So
yeah, they were already upset about that, when I showed up, but they had talked to her because they said her story didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the story already doesn't make sense, and then I have all these receipts showing where she willingly came out, I've ran down the whole thing before.
Yeah.
But within a few minutes, they were like, okay, you're good. What it seemed like was some domestic dispute, non-violent domestic dispute that they had no interest in.
Yeah.
And told me that I needed to file a police report with the Seattle PD.
So she's claiming that the police came and they didn't even talk to
No.
her. That they were just hanging out waiting for Wes. They didn't speak to her.
She would have a case
Seems
against
very
the
unlikely.
police department if that happened.
Yeah, that seems
Because
very unlikely.
what if I would have had a gun and she wanted to warn them that I had a gun in the car, or they would have talked to her. They would have asked her, "Do you think he has any weapons? What is he?" They would have got all that information from her.
Yeah.
So if the police wanted to actually, let the detectives do their job, that'd be great because they're doing it just fine.
Oh yeah, so now the detective. So at this point, she was pretending the detectives were on it. So
Yeah.
Right.
Columbo and Magnum PI,
Right.
and T.J. Hooker. Those guys were all, and fucking Hunter. Those guys were all getting together.
Yeah.
And they were coming up with a plan to get me. So and again, this is just a few days after she had filed that order of protection, and nowhere on there does she mention anything about an active case, which would have really helped with her wanting the order of protection. If she would have had like an actual investigation going on into me, that would have been what she would have attached to the paperwork, not a restraining order she had against an ex who at that time I had never even spoken to.
I think banana nut bread might be a Tiffany alt because we know how much Tiffany loves bananas.
She loves bananas and
Definitely.
ketchup.
Yeah,
Bananas and
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
her two
right.
favorite things. She dips the bananas in ketchup.
Oh, great.
Oh my God, if you talk shit about our host, dude, you're fucking gone. Like our old host. Like I do not put up with that shit.
What does that mean?
Don't you have the chat with the actual
I didn't download that.
what a piece of shit.
Hey man, I haven't been
Yeah,
feeling
but you only
well.
had weeks to set this up.
No,
so
I
I
haven't.
understand.
All right, man.
So I think Joey had said something in the. It might have been Joey. I don't know if this was. Did she already kick Joey out at this point?
Joey
Yes,
2.0, maybe?
Yeah,
No, they got kicked out within seconds of each other.
Joey was
Right.
kicked out. At this point.
I remember someone saying, because I was watching, someone said, "Did Muse die from embarrassment because of your lies, or something similar to that?"
I remember
And so that was the host because she's admitting that she's a parasite within her own body.
Yeah.
And that's really something to be able to admit that you're a parasite. So she killed her original host by sucking so much. And so I guess she took offense to that. So she banned another person. After saying in the beginning she wasn't going to ban or block anyone, I think that was block number like 7 or 8.
Yeah, and I didn't download that, Wes, because you forgot the Cash App.
Oh, that's it.
See.
It's always me.
I'm a victim.
Who's running the camera? It's Corey.
No, now it's Corey.
Yes. Well, see, Corey.
The trafficking hotline said it was trafficking. That was the only reason I got filed that way.
No, they
And
didn't.
we didn't come out here looking for.
Does she realize that like that whole call is on your channel with the
But
trafficking
she's
hotline?
trying to say that because I am the perpetrator. They lied to me. You know, like they pulled some. Oh no, sir, we wouldn't. You know, like so she's trying to pretend that they just told me those things so that I wouldn't go after her. It was a protection thing, but that's not the case.
Looking for this to be a thing. We came out here. Our original intention with coming out here was, yes, Muse was in a relationship. Muse was in a relationship with him, as you saw earlier.
Yeah, which is not true.
No, it was not a relationship.
Muse ended the relationship, not the other way around.
But you said you admitted I was ghosting you and wanted nothing to do with you. I don't understand, but okay.
Reason that things turned so ugly so quickly was because as soon as there was no chance of a relationship, he said we weren't holding up our end of the deal. That's how it classifies one way.
And again, your end of the deal meaning it's not what
never
she
happened.
Your end of the deal meaning like she was tearing through your house and
Well, yeah, she was a disgusting person who said that she was, a clean person and that
Mary
she
Poppins.
was going to clean her. Yeah, Mary, and she said she was Mary Poppins, but she ended up being Mary Poopins.
Mary Poopins.
And I didn't want Mary Poopins.
No, who wants Mary
full of
Poopins
sugar.
running around?
I wanted the house to not smell like a hamster cage.
Yeah.
Is what I wanted.
A spoonful of chicken fries.
It makes the formula go down.
Yeah, it does.
As a trafficking situation. That is essentially a mail order bride, if you guys have heard of those.
I worked for a Russian dating website. That is not a mail order bride at all. So that's a nice try. So again, she's trying to allege that I brought her here to make sex to her. But in-house rules, I'm telling her to stay out of my room. I didn't want her using my shower at crazy times of the night and day, which is also a pattern that continues to other people's homes, which I learned. And so, no, it wasn't, none of that is true. And it irritates me every time I hear her say that.
Yeah. Which she does a lot.
She does. Yeah. It was what she wanted to make it look like she was in some ways she was a victim. I kicked her out because I didn't want anything to do with her.
Yeah.
I made that very clear, and I was still giving her it was 8 weeks or something like that I was giving her after I had given her those rules before she needed to be out of my house.
God, thank God you didn't have to go through 8 weeks of that.
Who else is going to let you live somewhere like rent-free to try and get on your feet and want literally nothing to do with you or from you other than your own parents, Tiffany Lockheart?
Yeah.
Right.
Because let's just be honest, you're pretty fucking horrible.
She's a victim.
I'm a victim.
So, who is the old host? I'm a little lost. Was Muse?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Obviously,
Yeah,
dumbass.
Duh. Of course. Don't you have Violet Vixen? Don't you have your scorecard of like your playlist of who is talking and who? It's like there's like this is like the cast of Ocean's 11.
When they put a program on every chair, when you go to a music recital or something, that's what I need. I need to know who is who, and I also think maybe she should have wore different color hats to signify who was who.
That would have helped.
Or like colored sunglasses. Make it fun.
Yeah.
A pin or
at least change the voice a little bit.
I just think she should, because she's acting like Violet Vixen is a moron for one, not knowing what a host is.
Because I didn't. I don't think
most
of the people in the chat
asking,
didn't know what the hell she was talking about.
People in the chat are saying, "What's a host?" People who have seen Muse videos, because this isn't just regular terminology you're going to hear on a normal basis. And then also you're supposed to tell who's who, as if one of them has a British accent and one of them only speaks in slang. They all sound the same. And I'm going to use Dee Dee's quote because it was hilarious. He said, "Yeah, she changed from a dumb bitch to a stupid bitch." And that I mean, I don't think it could be more accurately said, because they all sound exactly the same. They're all angry. They're all very short with people, and they're all condescending. So it's the same person.
Yeah. Would have been fun if Mary Poppins had like a British accent.
Well, yeah.
Shit on your floor, Governor.
Poop on your floor. looks like I've made a wee bit of shite on your floor.
Oh, pardon me, sir. I shit on your floor.
Our old channel was named Muse Talks. It was Muse. Were you brought to said person's state for a specific reason of engaging in prostitution or illegal activity?
Can you pause that?
Sure.
So this person contacted me on Twitter. They asked this specific question because that is the definition of trafficking.
Okay. Let's see what Corey has to say about that.
I think I know what she's going to say.
I have a feeling I know.
We all know what she's going to
say. Sex work is not illegal activity. With the purpose of a relationship, yes. And no, I'm not talking about prostitution in terms of sex work. I'm talking about the fact that we were going to work on a website together.
That sure? Were you working on a website together?
No, that website, that was the website we talked about.
Oh, the dormant website.
Before, the dormant website that's still up. That's been dormant for years.
Okay.
We were not going to work on anything together. She doesn't work on anything. She doesn't work.
I just lost somebody's question. Hold on, I'm going to put this one up. Sorry
so
if I missed it.
She just brushed it aside. She said no. She was not. She's like, well, sex work isn't illegal. And then she said something about a relation. I don't know what she was saying, but that's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can totally re-ask. I'm also curious why West has neglected to mention that they were in a relationship and that he was giving Muse commands like he was her dom. Yeah.
I think I know why Wes neglected to say that they were in a relationship.
I know why too.
Because they weren't in a
We're
relationship.
not in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And you can't be someone's dom without meeting them, in my opinion. So that's also so. Just eating tush. I appreciate you supporting your friend, but you sound really stupid. Because that would not be trafficking. Just trying to bring up things about someone's character, or but he called a confidential hotline. But he didn't mention they were in a relationship. So if we were in a relationship, wouldn't that also completely take away human trafficking? It would mean that there was two people in a relationship and someone moved into someone's house and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So if I would have been able to prove a relationship, that actually would have been much better for me in court, had this gone to court. So that's not an argument. That's just stupidity.
He has mentioned that in passing, and that we were so completely different when we got there, and we were so completely different because the situation was so completely weird.
It was.
So,
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, it got weird before she got there, and I met Lil Tay.
Oh, fuck.
When the 4-year-old started messaging me, that's when it got weird. And so I interviewed Kat, and holy shit, the story Kat tells. It's incredible, but that also happened to Kat. Before Muse got to her home, there was a situation where she realized that she had made a mistake, but it was days before she was supposed to be there. And at this point, you still believe this person is sick and they need help, and they're escaping something, and so she just kind of brushed it off, and then you end up paying for it later. But I knew when Lil Tay contacted me that this was bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's not, but like, what do you do? This person who is escaping needs to get back to this country, to this state, and needs to get away from her abusive roommate, which is what she made Kat sound like. You feel responsible.
So wait, did Lil Tay contact you before you got before?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Little Tay the 4-year, and just so everyone knows, Little Tay is the nickname that for the 4-year-old within Muse, the sex worker, who contacted me. It was maybe 4 or 5 days prior to her flying out. She'd like gone to sleep, and I was working on a video. And then I start getting these really weird, like not quite gibberish. It was the kind of writing of someone who's never been around a 4-year-old.
Right. Yeah.
So they were like very complete sentences. The 4-year-old knew who I was and was texting me about the mean man in the box. And I later found the mean man in the box was either Deity or it was RSN. I don't remember which one it was, but the mean man in the box being the computer. So she didn't know what a computer was, but she knew enough to pick up the phone and text me
in perfect sentences.
And she told me, no, not a 4-year-old sex worker. That would be illegal. It's a 4-year-old identity inside of the sex worker. So totally cool.
Yeah, no, that's
totally
fine.
Cool. Way different thing.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So the 4-year-old contacted me and talking about the man in the box being mean, that she was trying to watch her pony show, and then then Muse contacts me maybe because I was clearly not having it. Contacts me about 10 minutes later. It's like, oh yeah, I was watching some cartoon, and then I guess I dissociated, and Lil Tay wanted to talk to you.
Lil Tay wanted to
Lil Tay
scream
is
about
the
Deity.
youngest flexer in history of all time, and so Lil Tay wanted to talk to me, and so it was very strange. And then that was the only time that the DID thing ever came up. And then one time at my house, again, she contacted me and said that, oh hey, this is, I don't remember who it was, Rick James,
Mhm.
and wanted to know who deity. Do I know this deity guy? And that to me was the dumbest shit. How do you know who I am, but you don't know who deity is? It doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense.
yeah.
Why is he talking about us?
So, Lil Tay is a sponsor of Deity and RSN. So,
Yeah, oh yeah, Lil
Tay
Tay
is
said that Deity
an
and
avid
RSN are
watcher
the-
of RSN and
She's
Deity.
she's always plugging channels. That's the thing she didn't realize.
Yeah.
She's just plug.
Yeah, always plugging.
That Lil Tay, she's a flexer.
Yeah, Lil Tay.
The situation was not what we said. There's a reason that this man doesn't show his face on the internet. Is because he doesn't look
she's about to talk shit.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do this.
like that profile picture that he was doxxed with. That picture had to be taken at least 13 years ago.
No, bitch, that picture is from last year in Hawaii. Fuck you.
Good. You know what? Nice to bring it up too, because now like people are going to go search for it.
Well, yeah, and that's what she was talking about. Like the picture that I was doxxed with, it was 13 years old. That's from last year. So she can eat a bag of dicks, and Vince can eat a bag of dicks, and a bag of chicken fries. Which, again, this stream is sponsored by chicken fries. Remember, chicken fries. And Burger King accepts Cash App. So.
Maybe I can have Vince in the corner, like on the Hanson streams, eating a bag of dicks.
Because he is an obese man. He is rather...
No. So, again, if you're 83, if you're 5'7" and 83 pounds, anyone would probably look obese to you. Mm-hmm. But again, this would have nothing at all to do with human trafficking.
Yeah.
So she's going for personal attacks while she goes on to vindicate herself. She's trying to vindicate herself. She's trying to look like a victim and she's trying to look sympathetic. And then she's going to attack people. And she realizes what she's doing in a minute. And then she tries to back off of it. But yeah, like if you're eating food and using your tube to get rid of that food and doing all those things, it's really shitty to try and talk about people. But no, not an old picture. So again, the bag of dicks thing still stands.
Large. And to be honest, Muse does not date people that are not physically fit.
Her and I had talked on Messenger, Cam and stuff prior to her coming out here, which she doesn't talk about because that would kind of go against what she's saying. So that again is a lie, just more lies, which shouldn't surprise anyone.
Yeah, and the whole not showing yourself. I mean,
lots of people don't show themselves. I have a job where I don't want to be associated with a YouTube channel where 90% of my content is about Vince Nicotra and Muse.
Yeah, you're not a full time. Yeah, like YouTube is not your job.
YouTube will never be my job. Yeah, YouTube will never eclipse my job. It's something I do for fun.
Like everybody in this chat and everybody on this call.
Yeah, it's just it's something I enjoy doing. So I don't show my face for the reason because I have a professional job, which I really enjoy. And I don't want it being tied to this. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Yeah, and there are YouTubers who have millions of subscribers who don't show their face.
Yeah, some of my favorite, like Primink, has a ton of subscribers. That guy doesn't show his face either.
Yeah,
I'm not a commentary channel.
Yeah,
I've never been. I want to do true crime stuff. This is a true crime. But it wasn't what I intended to do.
Yeah.
When she moved to my home, I didn't think it was. I had contacted Tiffany on the way to the airport, picking Muse up, and said, "Hey, I have a cool concept for the thing I want to do. Will you do content with me?" And she was like, "Of course, I'll do content with you. It's my favorite thing in the world, Wes Moast."
Seriously? I would love to.
Yeah. And then she said something about French fries being too potato-y, and then that was it. And
as long as I get ketchup.
Yeah, and that was when we were supposed to start work on this new series, and I never got to because a couple weeks later. Well, I think you guys all know what happened.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know.
You can take that however you want. It's not body shaming. It's just an attraction thing.
Yeah, it sure sounded like it to me.
But wait a second. Isn't Muse asexual?
Yes.
Okay, so then what is this dating?
Well, she's also a liar. So you have to take that into... And maybe maybe Muse was asexual, but Corey and Seth are freaks.
Mm.
And then Lil Tay is 4, so Lil Tay just wants to play.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Right.
Rick James, I don't remember what Rick liked.
Oh,
but,
Rick.
you know,
Oh, Rick had. Oh, he had. Yeah,
Rick's into some things. probably.
Rick's killing it. Rick had as many ladies as Deity.
Well, Rick probably had the dog mask. That was probably Rick's.
Yeah, that might have been. That might have been Rick.
We like people who take care of their health. Not so much like you got to be able to like lift weights and shit. because we
She
can't
likes people who take care of her health, much like
like her.
her. Yeah.
Much like her, yeah.
Look like her.
do that either. What we're saying is that you have to want to take care of your health.
Yeah.
She
Not.
eats
Maybe-
she eats literal garbage.
Maybe-
she eats nothing but trash.
Maybe when she's saying that, maybe you don't have enough fake ailments, Wes. Maybe,
That's what it is.
Maybe
I
you're
don't
not.
think-
You don't go to the doctor enough to
Yeah.
to get fake.
Well, think of what I can do is I can come up with a whole bunch and
Mm-hmm.
then say I got rid of them, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then look, I took care of myself by getting rid of said ailment.
And then if you do anything shitty, you just blame one
Blame
of
it on that.
Blame one
Blame
of
it
those
on that.
personality. Blame West Moist.
What's the medical term when your penis is too large? Because that is an actual thing I'm dealing with.
Oh yeah, that's you should
We'll
start.
discuss
you
offline.
should start a
I'm
go.
not trying to flex.
You should start a GoFundMe for that.
I should start a GoFundMe.
But people would have to see proof, Wes.
Well, that's on my OnlyFans. So I
There you
link
go.
both to each
Now
other.
Wes got his OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's just dick
Always
pics.
plugging.
Green screen dick pics.
That happened. You think that this still hurts me?
There he is again.
If it
Oh.
was
Stan Chan.
Okay, so Stan Chan is in the room with a rumor that will not go away, and the rumor is that Muse kicked her dog on a Chatterbait stream. Muse did not kick her dog on that Chatterbait stream. I want to make that perfectly clear. Muse abused her dog in much more horrific ways than that, but not on that stream. And it's part of the interview I did with Kat, and she goes into it, and it's fucking heartbreaking. I'm not one of those people who hear stories about you know animal abuse and like breaks down, or I'm not one of those people. But holy shit, she should not have an animal, and I don't know what needs to be done to make that happen. But she should not have an animal ever again, because they are just props. And if that prop is not willing, almost like if you're a magician and you're taking a bunny out of your hat, and every time you take it out of that hat, it bites your finger, you're going to get rid of that bunny and get another one. And that's what happened with Artemis. Artemis was not going to play the role of a service dog. So she tried to get rid of Artemis. She tried to donate Artemis to a shelter before finally, but Kat would not let that happen, luckily.
Yeah.
Because even
you, Kat.
if it's a no-kill shelter, that's no way for an animal to live the rest of their life. It was a big dog that needed walking and needed exercising and love and attention, not to be a prop in your 9-person, 1-person show of sympathy and humility. It's ridiculous.
And Artemis was kind of a big dog too.
The dog that she claims was part wolf, but that dog was not part wolf. That's not legal. She did not have a part wolf dog. It was a big dog, and big dogs when they need to go out. My dog whines every night because she wants to go out on the bike. Every night she starts whining, and I take her out. And when Muse is claiming that she's so sick or she's only going to walk around the block once, dogs need more than that.
Yeah.
And the dog was locked in the room with her all day, and anytime it was out of the room, it was biting. It was biting my dog's face because she's stuck in a room all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not being disciplined, not being trained.
Definitely not the dog's fault.
No, it's not the dog's fault. It's you put that on the owner.
Yeah, definitely.
And when she blamed everything from the train ride to Georgia to her assault that was not an assault on why her dog was so wild. She even said that her dog was the reason why she was asked to leave California, because it could never be her fault.
Right. Yeah, of course not. But then she got like a smaller,
She got a puppy.
Yeah, like
A pit bull.
because that's more, you get
Well,
more money when you have a cuter little puppy.
Who doesn't love a puppy?
Yeah, right. So again, it was Artemis was a prop, and then she got another
I'm
prop.
telling you, when she gets a monkey, that's when it's all going to be over. Because you put a monkey in some overalls and you give it a little tin cup. I'm going to give it every dollar I have.
I might donate to her if she
I would
gets a
donate.
monkey.
I would donate to the monkey in overalls.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
only if the cup was tin, though.
Yeah,
Don't come
of
up with
course.
some styrofoam bullshit. Like, class it up.
Yeah, of course.
Truthful, it would hurt me. The fact that it is a lie and that it has been since it wasn't December? Yeah, because November was
December. It's
BDSM.
funny because in her mind, if something happened 6 months, at this point, it had been 4 months since the accusations about her kicking her dog, and she's saying, like, you're talking about something that's 4 months old. How long was she talking about the Britney Simon shit?
Oh God.
And
Still
she only
talking about
stopped
it.
talking about it because it stopped getting her views.
Yeah. Yeah. Called the FBI on RSN over that one.
Yeah, exactly.
appointment, which I
And to be clear, RSN had it right. He just didn't have it right in that particular video. But he didn't.
She
he
did
didn't,
abuse the dog, but not in that video. And Kat did confirm the multiple times that they had to drive to the police station to report RSN, and she's sitting outside in her car waiting.
shown. Yeah, no, you're good. I don't know fully in what context that was.
Well, that was about the host, that she didn't understand who Muse was. And so she just came back and said, oh, okay, I saw that. I thought that was a handle and not a name. And I want to just make it clear, I thought Muse was just a handle too. I never thought her name was actually Muse. Is that what she's saying?
It seems so. Well, I think Muse is the host.
That's the host. Yeah.
Yeah, but I never knew that was supposed to be her name until just now.
It's not her name.
That's fucking mind blowing.
It's not her name. It's the host's name.
Yeah.
But then isn't the host like your main idea? If you're a parasite and if a flea stuck to a dog, it's not a flea dog. It's still a dog, right? With a flea on it. Mm-hmm. The host would be the main host. So that would be how you would introduce yourself, correct?
Yeah, well, I guess so. I don't know. I've never had a host.
And I need someone in the chat, please, if you know anything about this. Would the host be the main name you're going by? Because in any other term, whether you're talking about tech stuff or like with routers and everything, the host is going to be that's the main. And I always thought Muse was just a hand, like clobbering time. I mean, I know that is your real first name.
Yes.
And I'm sorry I just doxed you. But that's a handle. I didn't really think her name was Muse. Where did these names come from? Muse and Aubrey, they're all like, you got a baby book and you just picked the most popular names of 2014. I don't think that's how names work in a system. They just all have cute names.
Yeah.
Well, when it's made up, that's how.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
COVID Muse. That's the host.
Yes. 100%. Yeah.
Okay, so Phoenix says, "Do you believe Wes took you into his house under false pretenses?" And she says, "Yes." 100%.
I want to hear what the false pretense was.
Yes. This has felt like a setup from beginning to end.
Oh, she's going Brian Gosling on the.
Well, I think with the setup, she was referring because she talked about it at another. She messaged. It might have been Kat and said, because I was going on RSN's stream to talk about the order of protection. She said he's going on stream with RSN. This was a setup from the beginning. So I think what she was saying is that RSN and I conspired months beforehand that I would talk to her and invite her to live in my home, attempt to traffic her as revenge, and then I would go on the stream and we would embarrass her. So it was the long con. But because she has to be the victim, she has to say that there was some false pretense of me bringing her into my home. And I would love if she could explain that or show any proof.
Well, Sprinkle Cake has the Spinkies. Spinkies has the answer for you, Wes. Yes, the original personality into which all the other personalities should have integrated had the host developed their personality successfully in early childhood is indeed the host.
Yeah, so would the host be the name that she would go by? Would she
Apparently.
go by Muse? Because I knew her as Seth, but then when and this is what I found funny. I talked to there was someone who had introduced us early on, and we ended up discussing something. I don't know. There was an interview for something. I don't even remember what it was. But when I talked to her and I said, "How long have you known Seth?" She didn't know her as Seth. She knew her as Corey.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, everyone got a different name.
And you kind of mentioned that it was kind of to hide from, like to.
Well, of course. And then even with Kat, because there was someone following me on Twitter named Kat, and I was like, oh, is it? I have someone following me named Kat. She's like, oh no, Kat's not on Twitter. And Kat's always been on Twitter, but she needed to keep us separated so that Kat couldn't say, oh, she does this and this and this, watch out. Or I couldn't contact her and say, like, hey, she's super weird. Did you get that too? And she'd be like, oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Get her out of your house. Mm-hmm. So she keeps everyone separated.
All right.
Especially now.
But that was it. That was it.
Yeah, that was the answer.
But wasn't she the one that was asking to come live at your house? That wasn't the original plan.
No, it was not the plan. I didn't want anyone living at my house. She said that she needed to get out here quick. And as you could see from those text messages, and I'll show them more in the next video because that was the part of that 1 hour Chris Hansen video. But I wanted her to come out in like April, take time so she could save money because she said she made money so she would be able to rent a place or rent a room or get an apartment. But she started telling me first that someone was trying to break into the home that she was living in. And I didn't bite on it because it seemed too unrealistic. I didn't know RSN, but it didn't sound like he had the kind of fan base or the numbers where people are going to be out there just randomly trying to open doors in Georgia. Mm-hmm. That was so crazy sounding to me.
Yeah, and how the hell would they? He didn't give any like
the city.
Yeah,
you're going to try every door until you find her.
Is that how it works?
How big is Georgia?
Yeah, RSN commands me to find you, Muse.
He probably had a bounty, or you were going to get to like co-host a stream or something if you found her. No. And then so that didn't work. And then the next day is when she started really pushing that she was going to have sepsis and she could possibly die. And it sounded really serious. And I believed her at that time. I didn't have any reason not to. So that worked. And when I talked to Kat and were able to compare receipts, which, thank you for Kat. Everyone that lives with her ends up only talking to her via text or chat, by the way.
Smart.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But Kat was able to confirm things had been escalating at her home and she wanted Muse to leave.
Yeah.
So because of the escalation there, and it's just like she did at my house. When she left my house, she already had somewhere to go, and pretended she was coming back and left a fucking mess, and apologized. Oh, sorry, I couldn't clean before I left for the weekend, but I'll do it when I get back. And she knew where she was going. I seen those receipts too. She always works on as she's burning a bridge, she's looking ahead for the next one.
Yeah, and I think it was Julia who mentioned in my last stream about if you have sepsis, you're not getting on an airplane. You could barely walk. Maybe it was, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Julia. But yeah, if you have sepsis, like you're in some real fucking pain. You're not getting on an airplane.
Yeah, and then you're not. She got here and didn't mention any. It was 2 weeks before she finally went to the doctor, and it was only coincidentally because we were supposed to be in Seattle so I could film a court case. She never mentioned anything about pain. She was eating like crazy, and you saw the things she was eating. That's not someone who, is on the balance there and worried about infection.
Yeah. Oh, more shit more shit from the stand, Jan. It's a trap, Corey. He is trying to hurt you. Don't worry, grandson.
He's thirsty.
I'd never hurt you, grandson.
Hold on. I am open to questions. That's why I'm here.
There's Mug Nuts.
I'm not going to be silent.
You
All right.
said no.
There was if we had music like dun dun dun, Mug Nuts just showed up. Now a little background which I've never shared. when these accusations first came about, I know Mugnut's background and the work he does in reading people and body language and all that. I sent him the stream from Muse where she's telling the story about being trafficked in 2017. And I showed it to him and I asked him what he thought, and he said, "I think she's being sincere." And I was upset. And I didn't give him any background. I didn't tell him who it was or why I wanted to know. Because I didn't want him to, because I don't know him, but I'm familiar enough with him where I didn't want it to sway him in any different direction.
Sure, yeah.
I just said I'm curious about this video, and he said that she sounded sincere. But often when you're doing that kind of analysis, you can't tell off of one sample. You need like a control sample, and then you go off of that with your different variants. So while that video, and again, she wasn't live in that video, so she's able to control and use the best take and everything else when you're making a video. When she's live here though, and maybe not medicated, I mean, I don't know if I'm not alleging anything. I mean, I know she is on several medications. That's not, she admits that herself. But maybe it was a different medic. Who knows? She was much more controlled. And maybe she believed that because she had told that story so many times that by that point she actually believed it. But here, where it's live and everything's fresh, and she's deplatformed herself and everything else, it was a lot more like just raw emotion and making things up and contradictions. So, and Mugnuts went for it. So
Yeah, oh, did he ever? And
it was hilarious.
Re said that her husband had sepsis as a child, and they thought he was going to die. It was that's how bad it is.
Yeah, well, and that was the thing, is it was just a fear of sepsis. And as Kat as Kat says, she never saw a doctor in Georgia who told her, "You need to go have emergency." All of a sudden, she was just announcing to everyone that she needed to have emergency surgery for her feeding tube.
Okay, well,
and Sprinkle Cake confirmed that if I had been through a lot of traumas as a child, and as a result, I incorporated identities, my main identity would be Wes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know anyone, even her ex, who I have interviewed. The infamous Christopher. When I interviewed him, he said, "Listen, I know her as first name, so I'm not going to call her Muse. Like, that's weird to him."
Mm-hmm.
And that would be like me calling Tiffany Lockheart, like, "Hey, smart," or like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you're intelligent." You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't roll. Like, you can't call someone something they're not.
Right.
No offense, Tiffany.
I'm not taken.
Yeah,
Thank
no.
you.
How
I'll explain to you later what it means.
how could that have been
I
offensive?
appreciate that.
That's a good thing. She doesn't even know when she's being offended.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always like when you have to tell her and break it down for her. Like, I'll send a let me Google that link for you or something, and then she responds back, "Hey, that's not fair."
All right, so let's get into this. Here comes Mugnuts.
Anymore. I also agree. So why the fuck are you bringing it up? We're on the same page.
She
Shut
hasn't
up.
kicked off.
Yeah, no.
Stan just wanted to make sure that she knew that.
Yeah, Stan.
And she did not know who Mugnuts was. She did. Like, you'll see later, they had spoken, I believe, at one point, or she knew of him at one point. But when he's in the chat here, she didn't recognize who he was or what kind of questions he was going to be asking her. So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, and if Stanley Kendall is offended by something, it's pretty fucked up.
You're into some literal shit. I don't even think he'd be bothered by the pooping on the floor.
No, he smears it on the mirror.
Yeah, he would actually like that. You did it for him. Because when you get to a certain age, just making poops, that doesn't just happen, willy nilly.
Stan's done some things, man.
Stan has done some things.
That's not cool, Corey.
Make sure that backpack shows.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have enough. You not understand how expensive.
All right, this Now, banana, as you called her earlier, banana butt bread,
Yeah,
comes in
yes.
with a great question, and that's why did you want to live with me? You know, why did she want to live with me if she had supposedly broken it off? And that's a really good question because because one, that doesn't matter, but two, she doesn't say I wasn't there on my own free will. I was trafficked, which is what she would say. But she's about to give an excuse for why she still wanted to stay at my house. So how are you trafficked, but then you're mad because you were asked to leave?
Well, in fairness to me, Wes, I read that as alliteration.
Okay. Yeah, no, and banana butt bread is a good name. I
Yeah,
would
right.
just someone take that immediately.
If it is to live, like you have to have documentable income first and last, and enough time to gather those resources. That would have never been enough time frame.
Being an adult
So-
fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, it does. So you remember Breaking Bad, the scene where Ted Beneke wants to give that money back to Skylar White because he's like, basically, you gave me enough money to get out of trouble with the IRS, but so what? I still don't have. I'm going to lose my house. I'm not going to have a fancy car. So she goes, let me just get it straight. It's not enough money. So what she's just saying right now is it wasn't that the $500, the $500, whatever, that's bullshit to her because it wasn't enough. I wasn't paying her to move into this new place that she needs to move to. So that's where the anger actually comes from, is that I ask her to leave. I don't give her enough time to, how's she going to make that money? She's making $40 a day. How is she going to make, you know how long it would take her, because she also spends like crazy. So how are you going to save first and last month? And how is that my responsibility? You're a shit person to live with. You should have been kicked out of my house, but I knew if I was like, you need to go now, that the police would have showed up at my house because I evicted her wrongfully. And that's what would have happened.
At any point did she ever ask you for more money?
No. Well, just after just the money that the $500 after the police.
Right, but she never said, "Oh, you know what, 500 isn't enough."
No, she thanked me in the text. She was like, "I'm so thankful for the 500." She was like, "I'm so thankful for the $500. It'll get me a tent so Bean and I can live in it."
Mm-hmm.
Now, at that point, she already had another place to move to. But she wanted to guilt me because the place she was moving to was going to be temporary. There were a lot of roommates. It wasn't going to be like the situation she was in at my house. So if she could guilt me, and I was like, "Oh, you can't live in a tent with your dog and all that medical stuff. Like, just stay here as long as you need.
You poor thing.
I'll just fucking kill myself." You know, like me. Maybe that's what she was hoping for.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to stay there. None of us wanted to stay here. That's why we left. You guys are so confused about, oh, did you leave or were you kicked out? Blah, blah, blah.
was that who was she doing? I think that was a Tiffany Lockheart impression.
Well, that wasn't Tiffany. That was a dead on Tiffany Lockheart.
It was pretty good, Muse. Good job for that.
That's a really good question. Did you leave or were you kicked out? Like an entire court case can hinge on that one question.
Yeah.
And she's blowing it off like it's a minor technicality.
Yeah, that's not important.
Did you rob the store or was it being robbed when you got there? You guys are so bogged down in fucking details.
Yeah. I don't have to answer that stupid question. You know what would be great is if she integrates Tiffany Lockheart into the system.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was her next one.
Yeah.
Tiffany Lockheart.
Yeah.
And it was just a complete parody of Tiffany. I would love that.
It'll be like Voltron coming together.
Yeah. Can I take a moment to plug Reborn Armstrong's channel?
Yeah, I saw
Reborn.
the
The great Reborn Armstrong.
Too bad we don't have any Donkey Kong music playing in the background.
Yeah,
We
no.
do.
Not that complicated. He said a move out date.
Yep.
I decided, no, we're not fucking
Okay.
doing that. And also the doctors decided, no, we're not fucking doing that.
No,
We're
why would
allowed
the
to go back
doctors
now.
decide that? Why would the doctors decide that? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
They don't. Why would they care?
What reason would they? Unless she went into and she says that she told them she didn't feel safe going home.
Right.
Well, that's crazy because she already had another place to go. She already had arranged a place to move to before she left my house. So she knew she wasn't coming back here. So telling them that she didn't feel safe going home was something she did purely because she probably got like an extra pudding cup and she got a lot of attention and the police got to get involved and everyone was asking her if she was okay. And she got to make up a story and feel like a little bit of a celebrity for a while.
Well, maybe the doctors assessed the pizza roll situation, and they decided
They probably
that,
checked her tube. It was full of tacos,
yeah,
pizza rolls, and chicken fries. And they were like, "Who did this?" And she's like, "Wes Moast did it."
right.
And the guy's like, "Well, that's the most disgusting thing I've heard all day." And then they called the police.
Get rid of that man. He's a monster.
Because of the anesthesia, but we weren't allowed to go back because it was a fucking safety risk.
And by this,
read the question.
I'll read it. So Phoenix asks, "Did you reject Wes's advances? Was that a reason for him becoming upset?"
Just real quick, you shouldn't read anything else. I think next time Tiffany should read them.
Okay.
But yeah, so that didn't happen. I've heard a story that she told about like me falling asleep on her, and I was groping her, and she wanted me to stop, and I wouldn't stop. And then the next day, I told her she wasn't holding up her end of the bargain. So I've heard that story too. None of that shit happened. You'll see the messages that she sent to Kat. Not once was any of that mentioned until after I gave her house rules and wanted her to leave. And then that story was created to try and get back to Georgia to live with Kat, which was the situation she was in previously, where she lasted at Kat's house longer than she's been anywhere other than with, I mean, as far as I could track, other than with her ex that she was with for 2 years.
Yeah, and she's
2
nodding.
years.
She's of course nodding yes when.
She's nodding that she rejected my advances.
The correct answer is
and
no.
That was the reason for me becoming upset.
There were no advances.
There were no advances.
Well, the thing is, too, if she was in Georgia and she is so sick that she's about to become septic and she also needs to have this emergency surgery for her feeding tube, why would she have to go anywhere? You can go into a hospital at any point. She didn't have to go.
She said because of her insurance, she had to be in Washington State.
No, that
well,
doesn't even matter.
It does not matter. But because of the way she describes her medical issues, and then the fact that she was raised by this cult, so a lot of her medical paperwork and stuff is like gone. Her parents are supposed to be like absentee parents who don't take care of her or support her. Mm-hmm. So she said that her mom was the one who got her disability removed because she just didn't want to sign the paper. There's some story, but it's always a story, and it sounds like her only option is to get to Washington. I didn't realize that 3 months earlier she had just left Washington because she needed to get because she just needed somewhere to go. Mm-hmm. And it was as simple as her posting that she was about to be homeless, and someone she barely knew, who she had known for a few weeks, said, "Well, there's a room for you here if you need it." And this person moves thousands of miles across the country to live with them 3 months earlier.
That sounds like trafficking to me.
Sure does.
Well, I mean, if anyone trafficked anyone, it was Kat. So, and I'm putting that out there now. And that's really what my next video is about, and that's why it's taking so long. I done flipped the script, motherfuckers.
Yes. Yes. The man fell asleep on Muse.
There she goes.
In their bed.
And you were never in the same bed with them.
No, she had a futon.
You're right.
So I don't know what she's talking. But when she says in their bed, she makes it sound like it was our bed.
Oh, the futon.
But she's talking there as in her system's bed.
Right.
So how would there be room for me and all them alts and the 4-year-old who's also, I'm not, so no, there was none of that falling asleep on bullshit. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
No, I don't either. And again, very condescending towards these questions. Phoenix asks the question. She's nodding like, yeah, you fucking dumbass. Well, of course. Like, nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about, Muse. Or Corey or Quinn or Lil Tay.
Could you describe your experience with the doctors that have diagnosed your conditions? Which ones? I have already shown at the very beginning of this video my EDS diagnosis.
No, you didn't. That was not a diagnosis.
Hold on.
Well-
Hold on. I have a calendar thing in my calendar from January where it says that I hooked up with Tiffany Lockhart. So guys,
So that means it happened.
that means it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. And there's another one from February and 2 more in March. Explain
my
yourself,
gosh.
Tiffany.
Well, I'm not going to do that because it's not in my phone, in my calendar. So
Yeah, that's the
didn't
key.
happen. If it was legit,
The calendars
it
have to
would've
match.
It would have been in both. Yeah, it would have. The receipts have to match.
The receipts
And I'm gonna
have to
time
match.
zone check too. So
Yeah.
damn it.
yeah,
Damn it.
yeah.
That was a genetic appointment. I had that established when we were dating C, in our last fucking fiasco, which is now connected to this. And honestly, anyone who tries to vilify somebody who also has a restraining order against them, probably not the restorative man. It's probably not a very smart decision to do that. I don't know.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
maybe
Wow.
right.
Wow, that was
that
was one of those things. If you could go back and
little
edit
tape
out,
popped
she
out.
would have done that. So don't go live next time. Next time, write a script, plan it out. What do you want to say, and then make your video because that's something that you wouldn't have included. At this point, I had never spoken to Christopher. We had never talked. Had no way of contacting this person. I had been told from the beginning never to reach out to Christopher and that he would never reach out to me. And I was fine. I didn't care. I'm not reaching out to anyone. Now, he did reach out to me after the order of protection thing. But at this point, she was saying that it was connected, but we had never spoken. I wasn't vilifying her about him. What I was saying is showing proof that the assault that she used an alleged assault by him so that she could drag Brittany Simon because she had been wronged by him. And then she found out that Brittany was staying at the apartment while she was helping him. They were not together, but that meant that Brittany was her enemy because Brittany didn't believe her. And if Brittany didn't believe her, there were going to be consequences and repercussions like everyone else is going to suffer if you wrong her.
And about that restraining order against Brittany's ex, Brittany proved that there was no, domestic violence or whatever. So I mean, she got that.
She didn't prove it. The police proved it.
Right. Okay, that's what I meant.
Because the
She
proof
showed it on the
actually
video,
Muse
though.
proved it. The proof that she gave them was proof of her consent.
Right.
And
Yes.
so
that was on
so when
Brittany's
she
video.
tries to
is my
say,
point.
"Oh, if you're in BDSM, they're not going to believe you if you file domestic violence charges." No, that's not it. But if they have text messages from you where you're begging for more anal and talking about how much you loved everything going on, they're probably not going to believe you later when you suddenly decide it's domestic violence because you're broken up.
Plus, she was able to, go into the courthouse with the whole,
Oh yeah, you go in with the aid and you're in a wheelchair and
Right,
everything
yeah.
else. They didn't see this face that it's paused on right now. 'Cause
No,
they wouldn't have,
no.
that's not something you give a restraining order to. That's something you restrain from everyone.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you don't allow that. You don't allow that in.
No.
you just don't do that. Just a thought.
Just a thought.
No, hon. $500 would not do anything for me.
Tiffany, are you?
Oh, I love this.
Are you-
I gave away $250 on a Twitter giveaway when I think the third video came out for a retweet contest, right? Then the person who won was so appreciative. I mean, and this girl, she has a job and her husband has a job, but she was so appreciative. She's acting like $500 is a smack in the face. I was paying you to leave my house. Clobber, when have you ever been paid for leaving someone's house?
A few times, but that's irrelevant.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's
Nowhere
different.
near $500.
No,
Yeah,
no.
It's normally a few dollars. But
It's usually
Clobber,
10.
Let's be honest. Was that after you had been paid to be there, giving some sort of man-on-man massage? Yes or,
That's
yes
my
or no?
That's my business.
My literal business.
yeah. Don't fuck with my literal business. But again, she's acting like the 500 ain't shit. She was begging and begging and begging for that $500. How many? Don't forget with the cash apps. Did we hear? So she was asking for that $500 even after she had called the police on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The $500 meant a lot to her because she has nothing, because she makes no money. So to act like, $500 wouldn't have gotten her. So I think if I would have told her, look, I'll give you $3,000. Here's a first and last month, and I'm going to drive you to look at different apartments, and I'm going to co-sign for you because I'm sure you're going to need a co-signer. And I'm going to do, why don't I just pay the first 6 months of your rent? Then she would have been happy and wouldn't have said I trafficked her. But because those things didn't happen, and once again, someone was asking her to leave, once again, things had escalated quickly to a point where it was clear that she wasn't wanted there, which is why she found someplace else to live already. I had given her a time limit now. She, once that happened, then I needed to pay.
$500 would not. You first and last, my dude. First and last.
Yeah, first and last, my dude.
First and last. That is over 1,000. Like, that's $2,000 that I would need. $500 isn't going to do shit.
So why were you asking? Why were you so desperate to get
You're
it?
making fun of somebody for eating when they have a feeding tube, and if they don't.
Stanley's such a dick.
Stanley is a dick. A safety risk for Wes's pantry. That's true.
He's been dead for 2 years. Such a dick still.
The door was going to break off the pantry from all the opening that was getting done. I liked when she basically shopped in my pantry and would just take things up to the room, and then those were her things. After I went shopping, she would shop in my pantry. It was like one of those free Amazon, for their employees.
Yeah,
where they're just
supermarket
able to
suite.
Go in and walk out with food. Yeah, it was a real nice setup for her. If you guys ever have the chance to live somewhere rent free and get paid to leave, and you get to eat all the food, let me know about it because I'm interested in.
Actually, contact Wes. He'll have you over.
I'll have you set up. I'll have you all set up.
But you actually had, because of this, you had to increase. You were letting her stay for free. You had to increase that to $75.
Yeah, I was charging her $75. I just got so tired after she got mad about me not letting her bring a friend over, and then she's upset with me because I'm once again hiring the housekeeper back, like that's somehow invading her personal space. Once all I'm fucked, dude. I lost.
Well, we're talking about the $75. Why you ended up having to charge?
So I was done, and I wanted her to know. So it took me so long to write those house rules because if I show you like the original drafts of them, they weren't as nice. I mean, I know they don't sound nice now, but I was upset. So I toned it down several times and took some things out that I thought maybe were just nitpicking or angry sounding. And I also wasn't going to just let her continue. She would eat things and then leave them on the counter next to the trash can, almost like putting it on display that she just destroyed something that I bought 2 days ago for my kid.
It's not what Mary Poopins would do.
Now, well, that's exactly what Mary Poopins would do.
Well, Mary Poopins would do that, yeah, sure.
That's all Mary Poopins.
Not somebody with OCD, apparently, though.
Yeah, no.
Their stomach is going to go through atrophy. Maybe do a little bit of self-reflection.
Yeah, well, so the self-reflection, if your stomach is so weak and you need to eat or you're going to get atrophy, you're not eating chicken fries and Doritos and cookies. You're probably going to be eating things of some sort of nutritional value or all the gastroparesis-friendly foods that I bought. None of those got touched.
Yeah. She is not happy with Stanley.
No.
Another person angry at Stanley.
Just a thought.
He's been dead for 2 years, Muse. Cut him some slack.
Yes. But guess what nobody has done?
The police told Wes to file a police report against her, which she did.
I still get that question so much. People keep asking, why haven't you done anything? And I did. As I've said in the very first video, charges were filed against her for extortion and for filing a false police report.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, Corey.
Yeah, it was the same day of the extortion attempt. Like no time was wasted in this. I did everything that I could up until that point. Now maybe something needs to be done currently, just because of some things that have come up as far as contacting, awareness or letting someone know. But I did. I filed a report immediately because that was bullshit.
Mac and Cheese asks, "Is Daddy thirsty? Daddy's thirsty, and Muse is hungry."
Probably is thirsty.
It exists. I have not denied that it doesn't exist. So, no, I don't want pity money. Period. I don't want somebody.
Okay, Wes, would you like to address that she does not want?
Tiffany, can you read that?
Oh, okay. Oh, Tiffany, go ahead.
Okay, so this is from Ghost Bunny. Really? So you'd rather have $0 than $5? What even?
I think that was $500, but that was really good.
He
said 5. When it has zeros after, hold on.
Wes got two people on here who can't read.
The 2 zeros would make it 500, and if it was 1 0, it would be 50. What would 3 zeros be?
500,000?
It'd be 5,000. But you're so close. You're in the thousands, though. So good job.
Right,
so if there's something with
with
words, we'll have Tiffany read it. If there's something with numbers, I'll read it. This way we can get through the stream. Wes got 2 illiterate people.
Thank you, Tiffany. So she's saying that this is a great question. So go ahead.
I wanted the money to prove that he wasn't going to give it to me. So what I'm saying is
reverse extortion.
I wanted the money to prove he wasn't going to give it to me. That's like when you watch Cops and they pull some dude over and they go through his pants and they find crack. And he's like, man, these aren't even my pants.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you talking about?
Don't forget the cash
I was at a party.
Backwards Extortion donated $3. Good cause. Also just wanted to see Corey pull that pose.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Backwards Extortion. You know what this reminds me of? This is the I just came here to tell him I wasn't going to be here.
Yes,
from To Catch a Predator.
I just came by to tell her that I wasn't going to be able to come by.
I knew what this was. I was just testing it.
I was just testing it out, and that's what she's saying. I wanted and if that would have been the case, if this would have been something where the police wanted to see if it was hush money, they would have been in on the thing. Because if you're asking for it without the police recording and them everyone knowing what's going on, then you're extorting someone. Yeah. You can't decide after the fact. No, I was setting them up. That was a setup.
That was a test. That was test extortion.
Is that we asked for the money excessively because we knew it wasn't going to happen. We wanted documentable proof of the fact that it was hush money. We've talked about it in our Discord. So.
Oh well.
Yeah, I think that might be false. The lie detector determines that was a lie.
I'm sure they talked about it in her Discord, but what does that mean?
Well, she's saying that she asked for the money not because she wanted it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she made up that lie and probably started it in her Discord. That doesn't prove anything though. We even talked about it in my Discord. It's like saying I even told my little brother that I didn't murder those people. So clearly I didn't do it. I wouldn't lie to my little brother.
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying that you discussed a lie previously does not make the lie any more true.
So maybe
it just makes it a planned out lie.
Maybe those people in Gilgo Beach can lay off you for a bit.
Well, hey, let's not bring up the Gilgo Beach thing. I got enough heat on me as it is.
That is true.
Really trying to. I just want my belt buckle back, and I want to go on with my life.
Hey, Tiffany, did you want to read this question?
I can because there's no numbers in it.
No.
So this is from Banana Butt Bread.
Yes.
And it says, why was it up to Wes to pay your bills?
Let's see what Quinn has to say.
It's not. And if it was, he'd be a customer, and then that would even make my statement more true. So.
Well, no, I don't think it would make her statement if I was a customer, right? Like, so if you own a store and I go in and make a purchase from you, that is a legal transaction. If I go in and take something, I'm stealing and that's illegal, right? But if I brought her out here as a paid escort or whatever, and then I asked her to leave, would that be trafficking? Clobber, when you do it, is it trafficking?
I never call it trafficking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So so she said if I was a customer, which I'm glad she didn't try and be, but she said if I was a customer, that would have made what she said even more accurate, but that would have completely negated it as well.
Yeah.
Because you would be willingly putting yourself up for purchase. And then if someone purchased you, then it's an illegal act of prostitution unless you're in a place where it's legal, but that would not be trafficking.
Oh, is she maybe claiming that like the deal was to again the Mary Poopin situation where she was cleaning and whistling and pooping?
So you think that's what happened? Is she was cleaning and she was whistling, and when you get in the zone when you're cleaning, right? The last thing you want to do in the bathroom is turn around to poop. You just poop right there.
Yeah. Why waste time? Multitask.
And when you're that spotless clean, you can poop. People say you can literally eat off the floor. I mean, you can, because she's going to clean it so well. And then she just forgot.
Yeah.
How many times, and let's be honest, everyone in the chat, how many times have you shit on someone's floor and just forgot about it? I forgot.
Yeah, no, I've done it.
You know what? It won't happen again, most likely. But yeah, I forgot. I left the shit on the floor. My bad.
Yeah.
That was 2 weeks ago. Why are you still bringing it up?
Yeah, that's why I'm not invited to my parents' house for dinner anymore.
Yes, I do. I am in an intensive outpatient.
Okay, Tiffany, you want to read the question?
Sure. Do you have a specific mental health practitioner?
She says
program as a result of the trauma that I've endured. I talk to her several times a week. So
I bet you do.
Yeah.
And staying in intensive outpatient therapy is not a medical practitioner. He asked about specific medical, and she's telling him about outpatient therapy.
Yeah. I think I could do this one. Ghost Bunny says, so?
Which is a great question.
Yeah,
a great statement. So what?
Yeah, well, there's more. So Tiffany, there's a lot of bigger words. So I'm gonna have to defer to you.
Okay. It might not be enough to move in somewhere, but it's better than leaving Muse with nothing.
Okay, let's see what.
Nothing.
But I don't want it. If it's hush money, I need a documentable proof that it was hush money. And he did exactly.
What would the documentable proof have been?
The text.
But the other thing is too, what is move out money? How is that hush money?
So she's saying that I because she was leaving, I was so scared about what she was going to reveal, the dark secret truth
that she doesn't even know.
I was gonna break the bank and give her $500, and that was gonna keep her quiet for life, obviously, about the guilt, about some things that she may have heard.
Yeah.
So she's saying documentable proof of hush money, and I finally realized what she was talking about, and that was because in my my last message to her, I told her that I didn't want to pay her the money prior to dropping off her stuff because I didn't want her to make a scene. It was like insurance. I lived with an insane person for a long time, and they make public scenes. I don't do public scenes. And I know the money meant a lot to her because it was more money than she'd seen in a long time, because she's really bad at what she does. And so I knew that it was important to her, and she wouldn't try. And I didn't think she was going to call the police, but yelling and screaming. She tried yelling at me in my house.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she yell at me in a Walmart parking lot? And I'm just not going to have. I don't do that. So I didn't want to pay her and that was what it was. And I told her I didn't pay you because I didn't want you to make a scene. So she's trying to be like, oh, look, he says right there because he knew I was going to. This man's a murderer or whatever she was going to do. So she's trying to pretend it was hush money. But she even says later, she doesn't know what it was hush money for. But, once she figures that part out, it's like the underwear gnomes where, they steal the underwear, then there's a question mark, and then profit. Like, she just needs to find out what the question mark was. There's a chest somewhere that's locked, and inside of it, there's a map, and it leads to some shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is she has this. There's this dark secret about Wes Moast, and but she doesn't even know what it is. So she's giving you. She's giving you. She's trying to get hush money for stuff that she doesn't even have knowledge of. So.
Well, and I just want to let everyone know, if you get close enough, you're gonna get $500 out of it. So
that is true. Yeah, that's right.
What I thought he was gonna do.
Yeah, I did what? It didn't pay her.
Not that hard to understand. Y'all, I wish I could just take you back in time with me. Like I could get
Oh my
all
God,
of
me
you
too.
right in this camera. I could
I do
take
too.
you.
I would
I could
love
just
that.
Let's go back to that EDS appointment.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
Well, we wouldn't have made that appointment because we said it was at 10 and we entered it at 4.
Well, yeah, but that's
Yeah,
just
we would have been
because
late.
time zones were different back then.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the
So
first.
when-
Maybe that's the first thing we would have done if we would have went back in time with her, is to change that 10 a.m. appointment, or we would have moved that 10 a.m. appointment
Yeah,
to
down to
10
10
a.m.
a.m.
in the calendar.
Right.
Yeah, that would have made it look more realistic.
like take you back through my memories, right? Granted, I have to go through a lot of different altars to get the whole picture,
Right.
but I wish I could take you.
So we have to get through all this shit. We have to get through Little Tay's memories, and we have to
Oh,
get
yeah,
through
right?
We have to
I
get
mean-
through Quinn's memories and Muse's memories to go back in time.
That's going to take too long. How about you just tell the truth currently?
That's stupid.
Tell
That
you,
is
because
stupid.
I'm genuinely not trying to be angry with you. Most of you.
I don't know if that's true.
I'm trying to show you that what you're believing is not factual. Some
I
of it
love
is
the
factual.
rhythm of it.
Some of it's
I
not.
love the rhythm of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to clear all of that up. That way,
By not answering any of your questions.
Yeah.
So
Right.
all those facts that you saw on Wes's video, I'm here to say that they're not facts, but my proof is I'm gonna clap and I'm gonna I'm gonna shake my head and I'm gonna sneer at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to everyone like they're stupid.
I'm gonna-
Because it's the emperor's new clothes, right? He's walking around naked, and everyone's afraid to say anything because it's like if you're dumb, you can't see the threat or some shit. I don't remember the story, but she's almost acting like if you don't believe me, then you're a fucking moron because it's really clear. It's
Yeah.
not hard.
Yeah, duh.
It's not hard. I wanted the money because I didn't want the money because I wanted to prove that he wasn't going to give me the money. And guess what? After I called the police on him, he didn't give me the money. So,
Yeah, that son of a bitch.
my reputation doesn't feel like a trash can. So
yeah, your reputation. That's
I wanna-
that's what's important.
Yeah, make sure you protect that.
So
'cause,
come on here, come on a stream and try and do nothing but take down my character so that your reputation could be saved in some way. But that didn't end up happening.
be able to just make content about things that I was passionate about again, like I was doing when I left Wes. So
Oh, okay,
Look at the
'cause
pose. Look at the pose.
Yeah, she's adorable.
That's
That-
awesome.
That's a little Tay.
That's
That has to be Lil
that's
Tay.
definitely a little Tay pose.
I think Lil Tay's coming out.
Yeah.
Lil Tay coming out flexing.
Well, since she's not going to read it, Tiff, do you want to read what Phoenix asks?
Sure. I do find it very strange that Wes wanted to give you money to leave. What was the reason for potential hush money?
Her answer is just looking adorable.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. How do you? If the judge saw that, I'd be in prison for the next 10 years.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely.
Little Tay, you've won this case and my heart. So,
Get out of here, little Tay.
and then she goes skipping off with her little dog in a purse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and this is a good question. I mean, I think by now though, anyone understands the reason why I paid her to leave. If she lived with you and you had the resources to pay her to leave, you would pay her to leave too.
Yeah, if you believe Muse, have her over for a couple weeks.
Yeah, just give her. And that was the thing is when she first started streaming again after leaving my house, she was making a lot of jokes about, oh, look around me, look how filthy it is. Oh, they hate me. I'm a horrible person. Yeah, she was filthy and they fucking hate her. But she'd only been there a couple of weeks at that point. Within the next few weeks, things turned very quickly. But you'll learn all about that in my video.
Oh, stay tuned. That's a tease. Stay tuned to Wes Moast videos.
That's a tease, unlike Clobber with his man-on-man massage. I'll give
That's
you
it.
one plug.
Thank you. I expect to see one in your next video.
why do you need to pay somebody so that they don't talk?
Tiff? Mugnuts has
What does she look like? No need to dox, just curious as to her description.
and he's
Okay.
referring to the therapist or the doctor.
Talking about the doctor, and Mugnuts actually contacted me after the fact to give me some insight on why he was asking the questions that he was asking. And I'm actually going to contact Mugnuts when I get to that portion of the video because there's a reason why they ask these questions. And this question is kind of like a red herring. It's a very innocuous question. You know, like if you went to a job interview, and I saw them do this with that guy who murdered his family because he was like in love with that cam girl. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They asked him. They didn't believe that he had gone to job interviews. It turned out he had, but they asked him, well, what did the interviewer look like? Because it's if you actually went to an interview, you would be able to say it was a tall white guy. He had brown hair, glasses. But if you didn't, you'd want to know, why are they asking that? What do they know? And so this is just a question, just a real simple question that's just meant as like a red herring, and see how she reacts to it.
I would like to see Mugnuts do a analysis video on this stream.
Oh, that'd be great.
I mean, he basically did in the comment room.
But, yeah, but it'd be nice to have him pause like Jim Can't Swim and be like, she's fucking lying.
Right.
She's lying again.
What does she look like? Who? I'm confused.
What?
And I don't think she was confused. I think she just didn't want to answer the question.
Yeah, she had no interest in what Mugnuts was asking.
Yeah.
Exactly, because wanted in prison.
Okay, well, again, she's not reading the questions, so Tiff?
She kept asking for it, though, like 5 times.
Again, referring to the money.
Proof that it was hush money, because when he saw the cops, then he would say that I couldn't have it. So then there would be documented proof in writing that it was hush money, except he got it in his head that somehow he could change it into extortion, because he put his wife, his ex-wife, in jail on Mother's Day.
Whoa.
Right?
So let's can we pause this?
Sure.
So this is something that I have rarely discussed. But I have been a victim of domestic violence. My ex-wife, who suffers from mental illness for years, would do crazy shit. Whether it was punching holes in things or breaking things, and it was crazy because it's this tiny person who, if it was a man, I would beat the shit out of and it would be done. But she would threaten that if I called the police, she would smash her face into a doorknob and say that I did it. And I knew enough to know that if the police showed up and that was the case, I would go to jail because there's no way they're going to believe me. And that was something that I don't talk about, and something that my kid was not aware of, because there's no need for him to know that. And so when her and I spoke and she's telling me her story of domestic violence, I shared that with her. Because I know what it's like, and that sucks, and so her and I discussed that. And so in her video, what she tried to do was make it sound like I just go around making up claims about everyone, but it really sucked that my ex had to spend Mother's Day in jail, and that was the end of our marriage. That's why a 17-year marriage ended, because I was tired of it. And so for her to bring it up like that, as though it somehow vindicates her, that was really upsetting.
Yeah, and it's shitty that she is bringing it up. I mean, this isn't about you and her anymore. She's like, she keeps reaching for stuff that,
It's all character. It's all attempts at character assassination.
Yeah, that's all she's doing. Clearly.
Yeah, and I know she would say, well, Wes is bringing up all this stuff from my past, but it relates to her criminal activities.
Exactly. It's nothing about, well, she made this accusation. I mean, these aren't accusations. Like, this was proven. My ex didn't deny it, and it was. There were a lot of things that happened because of that. So this was never something that you've never heard me discuss this in a YouTube video. It's never something that I've brought up, because it's not something that I talk. It's definitely not something that men talk about, first of all.
Yeah.
Even though it's very common. The officer who came to my house had the same situation, and his ex-wife would tell him that she would call his CO, or she I don't know what they're calling the police. I think it's probably a military term, but she would call his boss and let him know that he was abusing her. because domestic violence had been an issue at their department. So they took like a zero tolerance policy on it. So all she had to do was make a call.
And is proud about that. Within the time frame he's been on YouTube, he has made his living off of bashing Vince, which is semi-justified. Yes.
Somewhat justified.
Oh, it's
Somewhat
okay
justified.
because it isn't her.
Yeah, somewhat justified. The guy who I try to help for free
Right.
do his job, and when I made some critical comments, he's been doxing me for over a year. And I don't make a living. Again, I make no living on YouTube.
Right.
I am monetized, but I don't think one of my videos is eligible for monetization because I say fuck a lot.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. And even if it was the way YouTube AdSense is now.
No, I've made $34 or something in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
She might be
more
able
money than she's made.
Yeah, I was
but,
gonna say like that's a lot of money to her.
Yeah, but to me, who's making $34 a day, thank you.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you.
He also had another woman that he threw in jail within the time frame.
All right, please. So
Lady Lauren, is this Lady Lauren?
this is Lady Lauren. So a few years ago, I started a YouTube channel where I was catching married men who were trying to pick up a prostitute in the park. And my name was Dis Hansen, and I would walk up with this camera. I had game buttons. I would make them play games and do trivia and talent competitions. Like I made this guy sing a Journey song.
That's right.
And it was exposure or closure. That's what I called it. If they didn't want to play the game, then I was going to expose them on YouTube. If they played the game, I would air it, but their face would be altered. And I needed this decoy. So I found a decoy on Craigslist who was willing to take part in this crazy show. So a few years later, we reconnect again and we go out on a few dates over the course of 3 weeks. And she's supposed to come over to help with Halloween, which I'm a big Halloween person. So she's supposed to come over to help me with Halloween stuff. And she doesn't show up. And I don't, I'm busy, whatever. She doesn't show up. She messages me later and she had a really good excuse. She was doing high quality meth.
Yeah.
And the high quality was what she added in because she wanted me to know
Yeah.
it wasn't some low quality.
She would have
crap.
came
This
if it was low quality meth.
It was probably blue. It was probably 97, 98% pure.
She got that Walter White
and
shit.
it was from Heisenberg. But
Yeah.
so yeah, she hit me up, and so that was it for me. I mean, I'm not that guy that hangs out with meth heads. So I told her thanks, but no thanks, and she did not accept that. And I mean, Clobber, you've seen, Tiffany, you've seen
the poems.
I have.
the poems and dozens of emails daily. And it wasn't just that. She would show up at my house either early or late. It didn't matter. She just ran. And it went on for 7 months. So, I mean, it was a few weeks of dating, and it was followed by 6 or 7 months of just constant showing up. And when the police came here for the Vince thing, which is great, because when the police are calling you and you don't know which case they're talking about, that's a sign that things are going
which
pretty well in
false
life.
case.
When the police were here for the Vince thing, I asked him what I needed to do about this girl who wouldn't stop contacting me and showing up at my house. He said what I needed was to put in writing that she needed to not contact me again. And send an email and let her know, if you contact me again, I will involve the police. And they would call her and warn her because they couldn't do anything at that point. So I did that. I sent her an email and I said, hey, if you contact me again, I'm gonna call the police, or don't show up at my house, don't do any of that stuff. And so I even brought that up in my final message to Muse. I said, you remember what I did to blank, because she contacted me after I told her not to. So I call the police and let them know, like, hey, because she stopped contacting me for like 2 days, and then it just started up again. And it was like we were in the middle of a conversation, like some random babbling about moving and a racist roommate and all this other crazy shit.
Yeah.
So the police they came to my house, and he was like, so what do you want me to do? And I thought he was kind of being a dick, like, what do you want me to do about it? And I was like, well, I want you to call her like you guys said you would and tell her to stop. He goes, no, she has several restraining orders against her. She was dating a father and son She was dating the dad at one point, and then he left and filed a restraining order against her. So she was still living with the son who had developmental issues, and they were together. And then she beat him up, so he got a restraining order against her. And then there was another restraining order from an ex-roommate, a female in California. So he's like, we need to go arrest her. So they did. They arrested her, and she was jailed in March. And at that time, Muse was at my house. So while I'm dealing with the police, that's when she's coming downstairs and really upset that I'm not going to stop talking to them so we could talk about her medical sudden emergency. Now it's a medical emergency because I asked her to leave 8 hours earlier. I told her she needed to be gone by the end of April.
Yeah, I think that's before you had a channel. When I barely had a channel, I think that's when we first started talking, right? When you were with the Cheater Pop.
No, yeah, I don't know. I had already Cheater Pop was so I got sued and had to get a lawyer and all that. After that, I didn't do anything with YouTube for I think like a year. It was when I watched Bake.
No, I know you. What I'm saying is, you like when you and I first started talking.
That was like the last thing that I had done, and I was still trying to figure out a way to use that footage or do something with it. At the time, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was done. I was done with YouTube. I wasn't going to do it again. It cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, thank God you came back. Everything went swimmingly.
Of me knowing him. And then now he's on me for the past 3 months. Is that sane behavior? Because
what about all the you just listen to like all the crazy people like Wes has had to deal with. You're another one. You're just yet another lunatic.
Yeah, like I mean, me and my great choosing ability. I was so lucky when the quarantine happened because I needed some quarantining. That was not a run of good luck. It started with Vince, and then it rolled to Lady Lauren, and all her poetry. Yeah. The great Bapsby has some of her poetry that she would write to me, and one of these days she's going to do something with it.
Oh, good.
It's Lauren Armstrong level. For those of you who know who Lauren Armstrong is, it is Lauren Armstrong, and that's when she earned the name of Lady Lauren. And there's a lot of "I Thought You Believed in Me." There's a lot of those types of things.
Oh.
I don't think it is. Wes has put more restraining orders on people than I have currently at this point in time.
Just one.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, she kept showing up. Oh, she threw a bike in my neighbor's yard. She rode her bike to my house one day, which is normal in the Pacific Northwest. Like a lot of people ride bikes.
Sure.
And left the bike in my garage. And then that was while we were like kind of seeing whatever you would call it. And so the bike sat in my garage for months, and then she showed up to pick the bike up, and she wanted to drop off this book of poetry that she had written, and I wouldn't take the poetry book. I told her to leave, that she needed to leave, and she took the bike and threw it in my neighbor's yard, like threw it overhead, like into my neighbor's yard, and then walked away.
Why does the food matter? The only reason,
No, she didn't finish reading it.
Yeah, can you read that, Tiffany?
Sure. The only reason Wes mentioned that was to hurt them mentally. That was cruel and unnecessary.
And no, the only reason I brought up the food, it had nothing at all to do with her eating disorders, which I believe the only things that she really has are anxiety, depression, and a very clear eating disorder. It was because that was when I knew that was like the first cracks in the facade. When you're telling me that you have gastroparesis and can only eat these certain, it's like the Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She's in a wheelchair, then you peek around the corner and she's standing up in the refrigerator. You'd go, holy shit, that's not true. Like, you don't need a wheelchair. I don't believe you need a feeding tube when you're shoving Doritos and stuff like that in your mouth. When you're eating tacos and pizza, you don't need a feeding tube. That's not to embarrass her. It's because she was lying to everyone. I saw the post on Digital Goon. He like took a picture of his dinner and it was like some spicy something, and she wrote under it, I wish I had a normal stomach so I could eat people's favorite foods. Oh, poor Muse, can I donate some money to you?
Mm-hmm. For chicken fries?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, exactly. Now I have talked to the National Gastroparesis Board, and the one food the one fast food that they recommend, highly recommend, sometimes over your own formula, are Burger King chicken fries, who, by the way, are proud sponsors of this live stream.
Yes, and of Muse's live stream, along with
all of her live streams are sponsored by powered by chicken fries.
along with Joey's Teacap channel and Cash App.
I don't have the condition. Yeah, they just put somehow I'm hold
on. Can I try this one, Tiffany?
Yeah, of course.
Well, let's see if I can do it.
Okay.
Phoenix asks, what would Wes have been afraid of if you saying you left?
That's close.
Okay. That's the last time. That's the last time.
No, it was better than last time.
Yeah, it was better. God damn it.
Yeah, I would also like to know the answer to this question. Let's see. I bet she has a really good answer.
I promise I can read.
Fun. I've lost it already because you guys are typing so fast. That's a good question. I don't really know.
Oh, that's a perfect pose.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the big skeleton, the big like secret that Wes has, she knows he has one.
Well, she knows how to write a good mystery. You can't give it all away.
Yeah,
you have to leave some of it up to the people.
Yeah, wait for
that's for the next round of internet sleuths to figure who's going to move into my house next and get one layer closer.
Maybe
to my dirty secret.
Maybe Little Tay knows, and there's going to be
I told Little Tay because Little Tay is smart enough to write in full sentences, but not smart enough to comprehend complex mathematical. Like how Tiffany can't read numbers.
Right?
That's Little Tay when I told her my nefarious plan.
Good. Wait till Little Tay grows up and starts his own YouTube channel.
Hey, let's do like 10 more minutes.
Yeah, sure.
I don't really know, because I think that when he said that we weren't holding up our end of the deal, it would be pretty self-evident that there was something that had happened.
So something happened.
So she doesn't know what. She doesn't know so she's saying she doesn't know what it meant when I said you weren't holding up your end of the, which was never said. But she's alleging that I said you weren't ending up your hold of the, you're not ending up your holding up your end of the deal. But that meant something, but she doesn't know what it meant.
Yeah, it was sinister.
It meant something, and I was so afraid of people finding it out that again I peeled off $500 and gave it to her.
Yeah, there's something sinister.
And it was just kind of an unspoken. You'll never speak of this.
Yeah, there's some jigsaw shit going on.
Yeah, you don't know what it is.
I don't know.
You need to be hushed. You don't know what you need to be hushed from, but here's some money.
I mean, 500 US is hush money in like Haiti.
Yeah,
I don't think that's hush money here. I mean, even for the poorest of person, they're going to spend the $500 and then turn you in.
Right.
Yeah. That's for sure. That's right. And then turn you in for the reward. That's what happens.
That's how you invest $500 and make it $10,000.
Yeah, damn right.
And now it's not even so much, guys. It's not even about if this classified as human trafficking originally.
It's not about that anymore.
No. Okay. You guys are talking about old shit.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are all caught up on this.
That was
human trafficking.
Yeah,
that was weeks before this.
Yeah, that was addressed 15 minutes. It was human trafficking at the beginning of the stream. We're 43 minutes into this stream. That's not human trafficking anymore. Where have you been?
That's what irritates me about YouTube is how people will continue to hang on to things that are weeks old. I mean, yeah, did she claim that I did a felony that could have got me 20 years of life? So what?
Yeah,
that was 3 weeks prior to this, guys. Let it go.
Leave the past in the past.
And this is also something that the cops wouldn't give her the time of day about.
Yeah. Yes.
It's no big deal.
It's no big deal. You guys are the ones making it a big deal. The police are the ones who made it a big deal.
Yeah.
Yes, she made it a big deal by claiming she was in danger. But guys, that was weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's not even what this is about anymore. What this is about is the fact that I have been harassed, stalked. I've had private accounts released. It's crazy. I'm not going to go. I don't have records of that. I don't have any of that.
Please read this one, Tiffany.
I wish Ree was here to read it because
I do too.
This is what her amazing video is about.
Yeah.
You didn't show your diagnosis for EDS. You showed a calendar event in your phone. And actually that goes along with something else too. When she's talking about her autism, she made a TikTok crying next to somebody who was talking about their autism diagnosis as well. Yeah. And because she had a letter that was basically just a referral. You know, anybody can get a referral. If you're talking to a doctor and you're telling them you're having these symptoms that you've researched very well on the internet, they may say, okay, well, here's a specialist you can go to. I'm not going to diagnose you with that, but here's a specialist you can go to. And she's sitting there crying like, oh, look at this. I am actually autistic. Nobody believes me. It's just like when she was waving this problem list that she drafted herself and called it her list of diagnoses. Yeah.
Check out.
After that is when she left TikTok because she knew that got torn apart pretty quickly. I don't know who she expected to fool with that.
Yeah, check out
anybody. Just one person. That's all.
Yeah, that's all it takes is one person with an empty room and room in their wallet for her.
That's right.
Once this publishes, I'll put a link to Ree's video, so make sure you check that out because she goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on. By the way, guys, you don't get an EDS diagnosis the day you see the geneticist. You may be told you likely have EDS, but only specific labs process this test, and it takes weeks to get results. Thank you, Julia. Julia has been so helpful through all this.
See, I disagree. I think you get the EDS diagnosis when you put it in your calendar.
That's and I think Julia may be wrong. That might be old information.
Julia, you might want to check. You might want to check your facts, hon. Who are you, Julia?
And that's,
Who are you,
that
hon?
that's Android or iPhone.
Yes.
Just in case anyone's wondering. Once you put it in there, then it actually happened.
Yeah.
Records on file. Who keeps them with them?
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Everybody keeps them with them on their phone. It's called My Chart.
Right.
And like, why? Of course, you keep your tarot cards with you. Why wouldn't you?
Why would you have your records?
Yeah, you don't keep your medical records with you.
Ailments.
I take the ramen noodles, but I leave the medical records.
Well, you don't need that stuff.
Yeah.
You just tell the doctor. You find a doctor who will just write down what you say.
That's BS talk.
I've moved 9 times.
What does that tell you?
Where am I supposed to keep this lockbox that people think exists of all of my records? Because they don't even.
Well, we can.
They don't exist. She was about to. Say
she was about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't send you them. I've never received any records.
My Chart again.
It goes into the My Chart.
There we go.
I can't even get into the My Chart right now.
Would you like to address that, Wes?
Yeah. So it was Julia who sent me the video from just a few weeks earlier where she was on a stream with YTS where she was talking about that day while drinking a Dr. Pepper, a gastroparesis brand.
No, I think
it was Dr. Pepper, but for people with gastroparesis.
Yeah, I think that's
Dr.
right there
Cooper.
with the chicken fries that approved by gastroparesis.
And she was talking about being in her My Chart that day, but at that point it was so she could tell a sad story about how her heart was even worse than she thought it was. And her heart is like that because she has that Grinch's heart, and it's like 3 times too small. And until she learns the magic and meaning of Christmas, it's going to stay that way, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, again, you're talking about something that she was in her My Chart. That was 2 weeks ago, though.
That 2 weeks. And who knew that was Muse? And Muse is gone. So
Muse has that password.
Can't
Lil Tay changed it.
Lil Tay's supposed to know the password?
Lil Tay can hack that fucking...
Lil Tay could hack that.
Is Yap Yap around? We can get Yap Yap to hack it.
The French-Canadian hacker.
Yeah.
Well, Lil Tay is afraid of the bad.
It's Canada Day today.
Yeah, that's right.
It's Canada Day today, so I'm sure... I'm sure she's out shooting guns into the sky and poking holes in trees.
Well, she's in Gitmo, so she's behind bars.
They still let her celebrate Canada Day.
They let her for outside time. They do let her out.
I mean, the world over, they celebrate Canada. I know I had my Canada Day celebration today. I wore
don't know
all
how to-
denim.
get into it. So you don't know why I was hush money, but it was hush money. Why is the only conversation there is no proof of? My dude, I
Can
really
you pause that? Because this is a really clear question. So you don't
Yeah.
know why it was hush money. Hold on, I can't see anything because Tiffany had to fucking talk, and now I just see her face. Thank you.
Sorry.
Anyway, it was like you don't know why it's hush money, but it's hush money. Why is that the only conversation there is no proof of? Because there's proof of every conversation that her and I had. Everything's in text messaging. But I did say in one of the videos that she tried to argue with me. She tried to yell at me in my kitchen, and I told her she's not gonna yell at me in my house, and that was the end of the conversation. And so she's trying to use that because I'm sure I've been told she watches the videos over and over again. So I'm sure she took that part and she's like, okay, that's where I'll say he said this thing that happened. So she's going to try and say, oh, that conversation that we had when his kid was asleep, that's when this horrible thing happened. The only conversation where there's no actual proof. So how can you tell me I'm lying?
Well, maybe it doesn't make sense to her because instead of why it's written why I, so it's a little technicality, but we know what devil meant.
I mean, you read things when you read Clobber. That's how you read it. You read it all fucked up like
so
that.
it made sense. Made sense to me.
Probably.
don't want to be a dick, but I don't understand what that means. If you can try rewording it, I would love to answer your question.
Bullshit. She fucking knows what it says.
Well, it's a little chance to be like smudge.
You're
and
at
arrogant.
about a 9, and I need about a 6. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's tune it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just like, when I said $5 by mistake.
I don't know if that was by mistake. I think you saw a decimal there.
Or when I
on your computer screen.
When I couldn't read anything by mistake.
Yeah,
Right.
But that was in the past. That was
by mistake, not by.
That was 15 minutes ago. Why can't we move on?
What? Oh boy,
I've moved on.
Oh boy,
You guys are getting worried. I'm so sorry, and my touchpad is like messing up. Did I mention this at any point in time? Because I don't recall.
What was that?
I don't know. It was Lil Tay again.
It was Lil Tay trying to come to the front.
Lil Tay getting all cute again.
And trying to distract with a doorbell. This isn't Olin Mills. We're not taking pictures at Kmart that are going to go over the fireplace. Why are you posing? Oh, because she's a published model.
Oh,
right. Sometimes you can't turn it off, brother.
Yeah, you can't. I know. But it's true. You telling me?
That's a great statement. Can you read that one, Clobber?
Oh,
Don't forget the cash
I'm
app.
asking you literally.
One second.
Lyric Mars donated $10. At Tiffany, everything is going to be all right.
See? Lyric Mars says, Tiffany, everything is going to be all right.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Appreciate
you,
that.
Lyric. And again, everything today is going to the Polaris Project. So.
And I have to match it. So if you guys really want to screw me over, just keep donating.
Yeah, you got to do it quick though, because how much longer you want to go, Wes?
Yeah, well, let's. What time is it?
It's.
Let's go till 7:40. So 5 more minutes.
Okay.
If you want to screw me over, keep donating and make the Polaris Foundation.
Let's ruin Wes.
One that released this information. I also don't recall talking about any other trauma with you.
That's actually a small sentence. Can I give it one more try?
Yeah, please.
You bring it all on yourself, then play victim.
Perfect. That was good.
Yeah.
But Ordinary Joe said that.
Yeah. And, well, Ordinary Clob can read Ordinary Joe.
And that is a great point.
Yeah.
Because I mean, no need to elaborate.
Oh,
on
one sec.
So.
There are donations.
Please, don't forget the cash app.
Heisenberg White donated $6.
Thank you, Heisenberg.
66. Wes is so cool. He's like the coolest guy the first know. And hot. How does he do it? Wes, I need to know, how do you do it all?
How do you do it, Wes? How are you so cool? What Heisenberg wants to know.
It's called big dick energy, and I can't teach it. It's something you're born with.
Are you getting attacked by a dog right now?
No, my dog wants to. I don't know what she's doing.
Cool. You all, besides the Christopher thing.
Thank you,
And
Heisenberg.
that was because we weren't addressing that case in particular What we were addressing was the fact that there was a YouTuber who had said that we deserve our rape scars.
Nope, that's not what she said. That's not what she said. What she said in those text messages very clearly was, as a submissive, aren't you proud of your scars? And if that sounds crazy to any vanilla ears, it probably does. But talk to any submissive.
Don't forget the cash out.
Oh, one second.
Tiffany Lockheart donated $10. Match this, Wes. Sniff.
Tiffany Lockheart. Match this, Wes.
Thank you, Tiffany. And that was $10, not $1,000?
That's right.
Let me handle that one, Tiff. Well, actually, Streamlabs lady, maybe Streamlabs lady should be reading everything. She's the only one who's not getting things wrong.
So what was said was Muse brought up in those text messages to Brittany. He even left scars on he left scars.
Please.
Oh, here we go.
Don't forget the cash out.
Oh, they're coming.
_boy donated $3. The stuff.
I'll never. This isn't even about. This isn't even about that. I can't live that down. Oh boy, the stuff. Oh boy. Okay, I got it. I get it. I'm an idiot. We've all established that.
That's perfect.
So if you talk to a submissive who is into impact play, they do take pride in their scars. That is not a crazy statement. It's a very normal statement. So when Brittany was asking her, as a submissive, don't you take pride in those scars? She was asking her a question, like one of the most basic things about BDSM and impact play. So that was something that she used because she knows if she talks to someone else about, she shows someone who's not familiar with that lifestyle, they're going to think, holy shit, what a horrible thing for Brittany to say. But that's true. And that's something that she took advantage of. And that's something she continues to take advantage of. The place where she lived, where she was on like that little farm, that was a couple who was involved in BDSM. She gets involved in these BDSM type relationships and then claims abuse.
Please. Don't forget the cash out.
Hopelessly Realistic donated $3. Make a detailed timeline with all infos anywhere?
On Wes's channel. Check out Wes's channel. I mean, you keep posted to Wes's channel. It'll everything is there. And more to come. Thank you, Hopelessly.
So yeah, Brittany never told her she deserved the scars. She asked her, and this was before when she was first explaining to her and trying to convince her that what had happened was an assault, and Brittany didn't believe her. She said, I even have scars. And that would be very normal for someone in. This is someone who admitted to me that one of their favorite pictures of them is one of them being choked. And that's one of her most erotic favorite pictures.
Okay.
Which, if you guys don't think that happened.
Yeah, here's the proof.
There you go.
Yep.
Right
Case
there.
dismissed.
What's that?
Yeah, I bang the gavel and I go, this man is guilty, and he goes to prison for the rest of his life.
Well, that's kind of what happened to him. I mean,
no. So that's the thing. There was the domestic violence thing never even went forward. The only thing she was able to get was a restraining order.
Don't forget the cash out.
Oh, one sec.
Check Wes Moast donated $2.
Check
At Tiffany, everything is not going to be okay.
At check Wes Moast. I got another one impending. One second. Chef Ramsay has something to say.
Please. Who cares? Don't forget the cash out.
Gordon Honey Daddy Ramsay donated $5. Will Tiffany Lockheart please say he goys?
Hey guys. Chef Ramsay wants you to say, hey guys.
Hey guys.
I like it.
I'm going to have a Hey Guys channel.
You should have a Hey Guys channel. You really should.
Yeah.
And that's all she'll say, yeah.
Hey guys.
Please. Don't forget the cash out.
Here's Heisenberg.
Heisenberg White donated $4.
Thank you, Heisenberg.
20. Hold me to this community. I will match all the donations. In this stream and donate it to this charity if the Bills have a worse record than the Bears. Only condition is that Clobber has to do the same, but if the Bears do better, lol.
Hey, Heisenberg.
Can you imagine?
Heisenberg, okay, I take that challenge. I will take that challenge.
What about when both teams go 0 in however many games?
Yeah, well then we both have to. Then we both have to match. So yeah, are we? You want to?
And I just so you guys both know, since I'm doubling tonight, you're gonna have to double my double.
Oh, that's right. We do. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still down with that. I'm still down with that. It's.
Well, let's just get past the scar
Okay.
here because that's pretty traumatizing.
Those are
I don't
his
wanna leave it on
nails
that.
that went into me. That's my surgery scar, but
Yeah, but
right
yeah, okay.
there.
Had to make sure you got that in.
Yeah, you had to see that.
Yeah.
You had to see that to know that she had.
And
surgery.
she asked why I didn't like them.
It's
What
not
kind of
she had.
sick person asked that? She deserved everything that she got.
Whoa, see, and that right there, that's when she finally tells her truth, is that Brittany Simon deserved everything that she got, because in her mind, because Brittany didn't believe her, she needed some sort of retribution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I think that's a good place to call it.
Clobber, do you know the total donations?
I don't, but I can get it to you. I can get it to you like right after the stream.
Yeah, send the number to Tiffany, and then she's gonna pay it for me, and I'm gonna get it back later. When we get some things worked
No,
out.
I'm just
Right.
gonna add a couple zeros and then send it.
I'm hoping she'll make the 500 into 5, and
Hey.
then that'll be what I double.
No.
Tiffany Reborn had asked if you would give us another "Hey guys."
Hey guys.
Ooh, that was
Perfect.
a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, you're stretching than the last
You're definitely ready for your Hey Guys channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we got about halfway through. Still, we'll probably got 2 more parts of this. So
No, I think there's only like 23 minutes. Dude, what are you talking?
is that it? Because well,
Oh shit! No, that's the time left, isn't it? 51:50.
yeah.
Oh,
This was a
yeah.
2-hour stream. So we got through about an hour. So we got.
It's only taken like 5 hours to do that. So that's
Yeah,
good. You're doing good.
yeah, I know. Well, it's a clobbering time stream. What do you expect? So again, if you want more on this information, again, subscribe to Wes. There's going to be a link in the description to his channel. More videos are on the way. Tiffany Lockheart, the great Tiffany
Yeah.
Lockheart, is going to be starting her Hey Guys channel. So
Yes.
if you want to hear more from the Hey Guys Tiffany Lockheart, make sure that you subscribe to Tiffany.
I know. Yeah, please just subscribe to Tiffany. Subscribe to Eurofission. He's doing really great. He's a
Eurofission.
newer content creator who's really been going all out
Yeah,
lately.
like to catch a predator.
If you like to catch a predator stuff and TCAP stuff, that's a guy you want to sub to. Check out Ree's video because it's really good.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I
Look
just
how
came up
clever
with
you
that
are.
one, guys. So Ree, feel free to use that one, but like say that make sure people know that came from me.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
I'll take credit for it next stream.
Yeah, thank you.
Just like
everyone.
COD stock.
I know that these streams are a mess. I don't like doing streams personally. I feel like I talk too much, but I wanted to let people know because I get a lot of questions about when my video is going to be done. I had to split the last video up into parts because it would have been too long, because I feel like everyone's story needs to be told in full. I don't want to condense anything, and I don't want to make a 90-minute video. So it's going to have to be split up. But I do aim to have something done next week, and it's going to be good. I got a lot of cool stuff, like made for it. I know Muse complains later in this stream that I'm making stuff on Fiverr to embarrass her, but like I like to spice things up a little bit. I don't know if that makes me a bad person. If I could sing, I'd be singing myself, but I can't, so I don't, to spare you. And that's how I care about you guys. So
So yeah, and there will also be a link to Ree's video in the description, as well as Allie the Alien's store.
yeah. So I'm gonna fit in one of my videos here. There's gonna be a commercial for Allie the Alien's shirt shop. You guys have to check out her stuff. She hit me up on Twitter. Actually, she didn't hit me up. She had someone else hit me up on Twitter originally to do some thumbnail stuff for me, and she's just been awesome. I love working with her. I can give her any idea, and normally like with no time at all because I come up with things.
Oh, I did that to her yesterday. I did that to her yesterday. So
yeah,
the thumbnail is going to be Allie did the thumbnail for me, which I think that you guys are gonna love.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. She's really talented. So check her stuff out, and she's going to come up with more stuff. And I might do some merch at one point, but maybe not. Who knows? So thank you so much.
All right, Tiffany, any final words?
No, I look forward to hearing the last part of this.
Oh, and if you're not, if you are a TCAT person and you're not subscribed to Reborn, you know to subscribe to Reborn. Sorry, Tiffany, I didn't mean to cut off your exit there, but thank you.
Always,
yeah, I'm sure you didn't.
I always have to plug Reborn.
Tiffany, thank you for being here. It's always great to have you on and explain to people who you are, because there were some questions about that from what I understand.
Absolutely, yeah, there are a lot of questions. One day I'll let you guys know.
One day.
She's Casey. She's Tiffany. She's Debbie. Who are you, hon?
Who am I? I know.
She's a fucking mystery, and she's
That's
a troll.
right.
So.
All right. So thank you everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who hung out in the chat with us today, and we'll be doing this again really soon.
Clobber, can you give us a good new on the way out?
Good new. That's not my sign off though.
That was really good.
I know.
Don't be fucking with my sign off.
Right.
Fuck you, San Diego.
Yeah. Goodbye, my precious princesses.